Hola, yuppie, everybody. Good evening. I hope everyone's doing well. Give me a minute. Looks like this time Nvidia is working fine. Desktop audio is off, as it should be. Now let me just get the desktop audio on. And we are ready now. Good evening, everybody. Happy Umineko Thursday. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute. Sorry, Umineko Thursday was meant to be last week, but I got sick. After going to a convention, so I couldn't do Umineko Thursday last week, but now we can. So, it's also the final Umineko Thursday of this year. Next year, I don't know how many Umineko Thursday we'll still have next year, but yeah, it's the last one for this year. And then until January, we're gonna be left with a cliffhanger. So I'm already gonna say that in advance, but all right, pre-Christmas Umineko Thursday, right? So let's go. All right. So to jog everybody's memory before we get started, before we pick off. So, Bern and Fedorine are basically playing Ange like a fiddle, and we're like, hey, Battler is a liar and he's stinky and he doesn't want to tell you the truth, but the truth is in Eva's diary and it's in the chapel, and Ange is pissed that Battler is lying to her, or at least she thinks that he's lying to her. And now has basically opened the Minecraft server of this island, and now there's a hate raid going on of goats in the future trying to destroy and eat up the island, because how dare the Ushiromiyas be happy in this world. So they also almost bored my husband and Willard as well, which is unforgivable. But both of them came out unscathed, thankfully. And now that most of the goats are being handled by the others, Battler is having to fight Erika with random bullshit, and Beato is trying to stop Ange from getting to the diary. So we stopped exactly at that point. All right, now that everybody's up to speed, we're going back. Well, we're going back to Amakusa, more or less.
そこでですね、第1回〇〇社ミステリー大賞応募作品中に八条先生が再び偽名にて原稿をお寄せになったという形にいたしまして、もちろん映画化、テレビドラマ化、全てが同時にリンクして動く形になっておりまして、ぜひ先生の玉稿を我が〇〇社にお預けいただきたく。
Company X。
賞金は出るのですか？
もちろんでございます。栄えある第1回〇〇社ミステリー大賞賞金1000万円はもちろん先生にお支払いさせていただきます。
10 million yen? Please can you give me a bit?
他にもですね、他にも。
面白い。気に入りました。だから原稿は書かないことにします。
Oh my god. Slay girl.
先生、そんな。
Everything had seemed to be going so smoothly up until then, so this sudden refusal made the people from the publishing company fall over in their sofa.
私が書いた原稿よりあなた方のシナリオの方が面白い。ですからこの原稿は御社にお預けするにふさわしくありません。
Man's calling them dirty. Like, oh, the whole plot of you being snakes? That's more interesting.
元よりくだらなき原稿。無知猛昧なる読者がいかにそれを棚に上げて自身が推理の限りを尽くしたかのような気分になるよう誘導するだけの打分。
I think another reason why is that she doesn't want to profit off the Ushiromiya's suffering.
それを皮肉と気づき、人の子が自らの愚かさに苦笑する。そんな作品に書いたつもりが、まさか推理小説の扱いを受けるとは。 我ながら文才のなさに呆れ果てるというものです。
とんでもない。どうかお許しを。どうか我が社に玉光を。
金はいらぬが餌が欲しいです。
Some pet food.
餌？先生の飼い猫の梅干しの好きな猫ちゃんとの噂を。
Ah, it's Burn.
かしこまりました。至急最高級の梅干し詰め合わせを。
A cat that she named Burn.
一つずつ個別包装してあるやつで、一粒200円以上するものしか食べません。
Oh my god,
あ
yes.
れはやがて高血圧で死ぬわ。キムチや辛味噌もよく舐めるし、舌のいかれた猫であること。
And it's how do you call it, Fatao? It's digestion, that's what I want to say. Meep! The cat meowed an objection from where it lay on top of the bookshelf.
この原稿は預けませんが、本社対象用に新しい原稿を執筆しましょう。ただし、私の名前では書きません。本社対象の推定投稿数は1000件以上。その中から私の匿名原稿を見事見つけ出し、その上でなお対象にふさわしいと思えたなら、その時改めて先々の話を伺いましょう。それでいかがか？
That sounds good, ma'am.
玉光を賜れるだけでも至極幸福に存じまする。
あなたたちはいつもペコペコしていて実に面白い。
Being amusing, fawning, and cringing all at the same time.
だが今日はもう飽きました。お帰りなさい。人の子に会うのは実に疲れる。
Oh my god, wait. I just realized I forgot to post on my Discord server that I'm live. Whoops! Let's fix that. Hold on. Okay. Now I have it posted. Now I can go. I completely forgot. Alright.
ご拝謁賜れましたことを深く御礼申し上げまする。
A servant guided the people from the publishing company to the door. In the study that was now finally quiet, Hachijo Toya let out a sigh, slumped down in the sofa and gazed at the ceiling.
疲れるが、たまには人の子の刺激も悪くない。定期的に人と会いなさいよ。ボケるわよ。引きこもってると。
The black cat leapt from the bookshelf and landed softly on the carpet. Oh, hello! Ah, we're going to the meta world. Then its form silently twisted and became that of Burn Canstel.
あやつらは実に面白い。たまに招くと退屈を忘れられる。それにメンジ、気が向いたら原稿を書いてやることとしよう。そなたに土産も持ってくるそうだしな。
That's how she should do it.
何を餌って。失礼ね。餌であろうが。
Honestly, living like Toya in what seems to be a very beautiful house, writing manuscripts and fics and stories and getting money from that as a creative, and she looks like she's very well off, so I'm like, man, goals.
ほれ。
Like, honestly, get that bag, ma'am. Hacho picked up a jar from a shelf, then took a dried plum out and threw it in the air. In an instant, Bernkenstell turned back into a black cat, caught it in midair, and started munching away. Cute.
お客様がお帰りになりました。
Oh! A servant knocked on the door before making this announcement.
ありがとう。あれが目を覚ましたら教えてください。
That one?
かしこまりました。何かお紅茶を入れましょうか。
いえ、
Ange?
少し執筆をします。しばらく放っておくように。
はい。
What you gonna write? Ooh! After waiting for the servant's footsteps to disappear into the distance, Hatijo moved to her desk. I wonder what that drawer is in the back, that suitcase, but oh, look at her workspace. It's just an aesthetic. So vintage, so beautiful. After waiting for the servant's footsteps to disappear into the distance, Hatijo moved to her desk. The desk certainly looked as though it belonged to a great writer, with pages of manuscripts scattered across it.
世紀末にまだペンで書いてるの？
The black cat spoke as it tore the dried plum apart with its
物語
mouth.
はインクで記す。それが私の不変のルールである。インクで書いて同じものをキーボードで打ち直すなんてバカな二度手間だわ。
I think the first draft is when she writes on paper, and then when she's writing it on the typewriter, she can make like some edits on the way, like proofread it at the same time. So honestly, that's not really that much of a bad workflow.
ならばなぜ人の子は心の中で物語を描き、それをわざわざキーボードで打ち直すというのか。人の子の二度手間もバカバカしい。ならあんたは三度手間ってわけだわ。今のは面白かった。
Even as Hachijo laughed, her fountain pen was already sliding across the page. Beautiful letters appeared almost as fast and proficiently as a typewriter. Only humans called her creations manuscripts. With her fountain pen and writing paper, she was creating a world. As she did, the hands of the clock would spin around like a top. The light and shadows that came in through the windows changed their angle so fast they might have been the hands of a clock themselves. Slowly, she drew a large X across the tightly packed words on the paper. Didn't like it. Writer's
うまく
block.
書けぬ。人を楽しませる原稿とはめんどくさいものだな。
Yeah.
何しろ普段人に読ませるために文字など書かぬのでな。あんた自分が何を言ってるのかいっぺん原稿用紙に書いてみるといいわ。
Yeah, just be honest. But I understand the feel as well as a creative myself who does this full time. Well, not writing, but drawing. 1000% understand where she's at. Bernkenstell curled up on the sofa, a mocking smile on her face. Normally, whenever Hachijo was writing, Bernkenstell would never let herself be noticed, much less talk to her. However, Bernkenstell realized that the other was apparently getting bored with her manuscript, so she yawned and started talking.
何を書いてるの？さっきから。人の子に捧げる物語だ。
It's for Ange.
どこの人の子？我に朗読を捧げたる巫女に約束した物語だ。ああ、まだ書いてたの。何を書けばあれは満足するのか、私にはもうわからぬのだ。またあうあうが投げ出したわ。あんたはいつだって勝手に物語を約束して最後まで書ききれなくなって投げ出すのね。
Oh goddamn, as if that isn't like 1000% also the feel. How many times have I always promised to write stories, fan fictions and everything? Write down a lot of notes. I write down individual scenes sometimes. And then I just get stuck before I even start writing the first draft and give up. I mean, don't give up, but more I'm like, I'm gonna do it at a later time. I'm gonna do it at a later time. I'm gonna do it later. When I have everything prepared at a perfect state to start writing. Like, a friend told me, she told me that the best way to start writing something is just to start. Just do it. Just start writing. Like, trying to be an over-perfectionist will bound you in getting stuck. Trust me, I say this from experience as someone who wanted to write a very ambitious 3 up to 4 part Danganronpa fanfiction. Wrote down like 3 full notebooks of stuff, concepts, ideas, scenes, rough drafts, and everything, and I didn't even write the first prologue. I mean, I did eventually write like the very beginning lines, but I wasn't satisfied with it, so I didn't even continue drafting. People just want to write good, and that's understandable. But because fanfiction and writing is so difficult to get right, and we know that it gets shit on very often and very quickly, especially if it's a fanfic, so people just want to make it perfect and good, and then just end up working themselves up in a rut and not being able to write. And that's kinda what I feel from this, from Federine. She's already started writing, but she got stuck because she wants to make it perfect and satisfactory for the one who's gonna read it. So much so that she got stuck because, like, in the whole process of, it needs to be perfect and good for the person who's gonna read it, regardless if it's just one reader or more. But okay, sorry, tangent aside, let's continue.
投げ出さぬからこうして悩んでいる。エンジが望む物語は最初から一つしかないわ。エンジはあの日に何があったのか知りたいと希望しているわ。それを煙に巻く物語をいくら書いたって満足するわけもない。一なる真実よりも私の物語の方がよほど面白いと思うのだがな。
If what we saw in episode 7 was at least a part of that truth, or the majority of it, it is a pretty much kinda in comparison to the other episodes, it's a much less bombastic and interesting, and I think it's extremely fascinating still because I kinda was thinking of the emotional aspect behind it. But yeah.
エンジは面白い物語が読みたいんじゃないのよ。私はあの人の子にそなたのために物語を書くと約束した。だから私はあやつのためにあやつが喜ぶ物語を書いている。どんなに面白かろうとあんたが書くそれは全て幻想だわ。エンジはそんなものを一切望んでいない。まだわかんないの？一なる真実の書は後宮エヴァが記した。
Hidden amongst a pile of writing paper was Eva's diary.
そして筆者はこれを誰にも明かさずに言った。
Oh, did she read it?
私は物書きの端くれとしてそれを尊重したいと思うのだ。笑わせないで。物語の腹渡引きずり出して月見で一杯のあんたがそれを語る？真実などつまらぬぞ。いくつもの物語の腹渡を食いちぎってきた末の感想がそれ？
I wonder if she's in a way saying that reality and including the truth, but in this case realism and reality is boring.
そういうことでもよい。
With a self-mocking laugh, Hachisa set down her fountain pen.
私は老いて最初に理解したのは知ることより知らぬことの方が貴重であるということだ。年寄り臭そうな話だけど付き合ってあげる。どういう意味？知ることと知らぬこと、この二つは不可逆的な関係だということだ。そうね。知らぬから知るに移ることはできても知るから知らぬには移れない。それを理解したとき、私は知らぬことに宿る処女性にも似た高潔なる純粋さを理解したのだ。私は退屈から逃れるために星の数ほどのゲームを物語を腹渡を引きずり出しては食らってきた。 しかしいつも退屈が癒されるのはほんの一瞬で、その儚さゆえに私は個々の物語を軽んじてきた。
そうね。でも生かしておけば、やがては悪態をついたり皮肉を言ったりするようになるかもしれない。
そうだ。
What a way to put it.
勝手に貸し棚を漁ったり、ベッドに忍び込んできて暑苦しいのもなかなか愉快なものだ。
She was like, yeah, the way you just break my shit and my stories too. Charming. Hachijo looked around at the books covering every square inch of the room, then softly patted the cat's back.
私は一つの物語をもっともっと深く長く楽しむことができたかもしれない。退屈から逃れるために星の数の物語を食い尽くしてきた私は、そもそも初めから物語を食らってなどいなかったのだ。ただ殺していただけ。結局はそれが私をも殺すのだ。
Hachijo laughed with
デートの
self-derision.
ゲームだって腹渡を引きずり出そうとしたじゃない。
答え合わせを希望しただけだ。物語の紡ぎ手であるベアトリーチェには敬意を表する形としたつもりだがな。
そうね。わかんないやつにはわかんない。うまい朗読だったと思うわ。
エンジェが真実を知ることと知らぬことと、どちらが良い物語となるのか。だからそなたに再び軽蔑されることを覚悟の上で、私はこの物語の続きを書くことをやめようと思う。
I think I kind of know where she's coming from as well, or at least can empathize. This idea of especially knowing and not knowing. Once you've read so many stories or experienced a lot of stories, regardless of medium, you start recognizing tropes and whatnot, and it becomes hard to enjoy new things because you can kind of already predict what's gonna happen, right? That's one way how that can just take out the enjoyment of experiencing new stories. But also, what can happen is how do I explain this? So yeah, as I was saying, like with the thing of experiencing fiction so often that you see tropes and become unable to enjoy them. It's the thing with the knowing and not knowing. Yeah, right. That's what I wanted to say. Like being spoiled and unspoiled, kind of that feel, or you kind of lose a magic of experiencing a story after you've already known it once, right? So let's say, for example, Undertale. The experience of playing it completely blind for the first time and then the next few times are going to vastly differ. There's always like this magic of not knowing, of experiencing the first time. And once you know, sure, you can re-experience something you love and see it in a different lens. Like, for example, with Utena, like I've seen it 3 times by now and I can always take something new from it because of how deep it is. But but like the magic of Undertale, I'm not gonna experience a second time because I've seen it once in Undertale, and while I can discover new things, maybe if I dig, even get Gaster, you know, the same magic is not gonna be there. That and not knowing allows your imagination to run wild. Like, how many stories have had open endings that you have to be the one to think about what happens next, right? To imagine what happens after the story. I think the example, the first one that I thought of was Mega Man ZX Advent that never ended, or Mega Man Legends 2 allegedly. I don't know how Legends 2 ends, so I can't really say. I just know it was not really an open, not really a closed ending. And ZXA, I know for a fact, is a very open ending with a sequel hook that was meant to go immediately, but it never got made, right? So you kind of have to make the next installment in your own mind, and then the possibilities are endless. You can just think of whatever the hell you want. Well, if you knew exactly what happens next, like point by point, then it would be like, well, I don't really have that much room for imagination.
やめてどうすんの？
私は書かぬ。記すだけだ。後宮エンジェが自ら紡ぐ物語をな。
またそういうことをするのね。
私は真実を知らぬことをあえて選ぶ方が高潔であると1000年を生き飽きた末に思う。しかし100年も生きぬエンジェにその価値観を押し付けるのも酷であると今理解した。
だからエンジェに委ねようと？
そうだ。それを私は淡々と記す。
エンジェに委ねるということはもうこの物語の向かう先は半ば決まったようなものだけど。
Is it?
そうなるだろうな。それでよい。私が記すどのような物語よりも結局は人の子が自ら紡ぐ物語の方が面白いのだから。
ならエンジェの物語に付き合ってあげたら？出番はもう作ってあげたでしょ？
ふむ。私はこの物語にピリオドを打つ役目か。
レアとのゲーム風にもっとかっこよく言ってほしいわ。猫箱の腹渡を引きずり出す役目よ。
It's your job to give us the walkthrough. Here it is. Hachijo chuckled, pushed aside the pile of writing paper, and then picked up the book of the single truth. Then she opened the locked drawer.
エンジェが望むのだ。この書の封印は解かれる運命にあるだろう。エンジェは一なる真実に至り、一なる真実は猫箱の封印を開いて全てを白日にさらす。それをもってネットの海に無数にばらまかれた愉快なる妄想のボトルメッセージとかけらは、あやつももうそのようなかけらには疲れ果てただろうからな。
もうあの子も旅を終えてもいい頃だわ。
引き受けようではないか。その度に終着液を与える役目を。
At that moment, there were sounds of someone in the hallway. The instant someone knocked on the door, Berncanstel turned back into a black cat.
執筆中失礼いたします。
It was the voice of Hachijo's servant.
何か電話なら断ってください。
いえ、トウヤ様がお目覚めになりました。
Toya? Have we met another Toya? I thought there was only one. Where is she? Where is Toya? Oh, I don't think we have Hachijo in a different page yet. Oh, we have Ange, Beatriz, Furudo, Erika. Yeah, these are the people in the game board and in the meta world right now, but I suppose you can see the bio for Ange, Amakusa, and such, so I guess I can check. But I was so sure there was only one Toya.
ありがとう。
I thought she was like a single completely solo person in a household.
軽食の準備を。
Toya-sama.
私の分も一緒に。
かしこまりました。
Like your husband, your brother? Hachi just stood up. Or your sister? Or your mom? Then she stood up. She shut the open drawer and locked it again. Oh my god, imagine dropping this song while pulling out a key? Inside that drawer lay a glittering golden key. Now we're going back. Oh, it's time for the fight. Time for random bullshit.
密室の定義は内外からのあらゆる出入りを否定するものである。
Oh, this team is new.
復唱拒否。可能なる密室殺人の定義は完全なる密室の定義とは一致しない。
チェーンが破壊後に修復された可能性。 扉が破壊後に修復された可能性、壁が破壊後に修復された可能性。
Wait, the wall?
俺の密室にはいかなる修復も存在しない。
グッと、本当に楽しいですね、バトラさん。
悪いが今はお前と遊んでる暇がねえんだよ。
こちらこそ悪いですが、真実の魔女の同志エンジェさんの邪魔をさせるわけにはいきません。
そういやお前も真実の魔女なんだな。なるほど、エンジェの先輩魔女ってわけだ。
一なる真実、それこそが思考にして究極。それに至る全ての障害を打ち破ることのできる魔女こそが真実の魔女です。
そんなにも一なる真実とやらが大事か。
For her, this?
知る必要も価値もないものだってたくさん。エンジェにとって1986年にどれほどの意味があるってんだ。何もない。
I would disagree because I mean, look, as much as everyone is rightfully worried for letting Ange know the horrible, horrifying truth, if it's what we saw in episode 7, that is, regardless, even then, she also has the right to know so that she can quell everyone who has been tormenting her the past years, right? Like, everyone is treating the Ushiromiya tragedy as their plaything, including her. And 10 years of that is hard.
ないでしょうね。1986年に何があったってなくた。1998年に生きるエンジェさんには何の変化もない。それが知ることの無意味さです。ですが、一つだけ変えられることがあります。
Which is?
それは何だ。
どう生きるかです。
True, true. Erika transformed her reasoning into a scythe's blade and lashed out at Battler over and over. Battler also created a blade from his reasoning and attacked Erika over and over. In the middle of all this, he questioned Erika, the girl who, like Ange, called herself a wish of truth. Just what is the point of exposing the truth?
そうだ。人は知ることだ。
Imagination can be fantastic, or it can be torture.
ならば、俺は肉親として願う。
What ifs can be, like I said, what ifs can be great, but can also really hurt. So there's a good and a bad.
エンジェが俺のゲームのせいにより良い生き方に人生を変えてくれることをな。
知ることで人の生き方は変わりますが、世の中には知らない方が快適なこともたくさんありますので。
電車の座席シートに生息するダニの数、水道水にまつわる不衛生な都市伝説。
The number of ticks living in the seats on a train. Whoa, God, never thought about that, but oh.
知らねえ方がマシな話はキリがねえぜ。
Oh yeah.
一なる真実の書は確かにこの島で何があったのかをエンジェに教えるだろう。しかしそれを知って何の意味がある。12年前の悲しみが増すばかりじゃねえか。一体エンジェはさらにあと何年をかければ一人の女の子としての幸せを享受できるってんだよ。
Whenever people stop treating her and her family as a plaything.
一体何年をかければその傷口は癒されるんだよ。
Ange's desire to find the truth is hurting her, regardless of what the actual truth is. Though her deep wounds were slow to heal, they did begin to do so during those 12 years. However, Ange kept picking at the scabs. In her search for the truth, she tore at those wounds herself, opening them up once more.
エンジはもう1986年の悲しみから解放されていいんだ。それが俺たち後宮家全員の願いなんだ。
そんなの知ったこっちゃありません。真実こそ全て、真実こそ正義。
中学の頃に誰もが一度はかかる病気だな。大人が隠すことをやたらと知りたくなる。
それを暴くのが楽しいんじゃないですか。
ああ、そうだな。大人の本はこそこそ隠れて読むから楽しいんだぜ。
Oh my god. Why are we going there? But he's right. He's right. They're having a good time though. Good to see that.
そなたの青きくさびのすべてを赤くそなたの提示するすべての方法でわらわの密室を破ることはできぬ。
Bruh. The music is going so hard. Ange was breathing heavily. The book of the single truth was right before her eyes. If she could just defeat Beato, she'd be able to take the book to Bernkastel, and then she could read what was inside. Even though the truth of the final family conference on the October 4th and 5th of 1986 was right there, the Golden Witch stood in her way. Her anger and hatred spun around inside her head, wiping out the composure necessary to theory making. Ange shook her head several times, clearing away everything that got in the way of calming her mind. However, no matter how many times she thought it through, the closed room sealing her in the chapel was perfect. Ange wasn't particularly familiar with the mystery genre. However, she knew about all the fragments contained in Beato's games so far. Her knowledge was shallow, but it could still have been enough to give her a good foothold. However, no matter how many blue truths she shot at Beato, none of them even made the witch flinch. Beato just peeled them apart with the red truth and an elegant wave of her pipe.
いい加減に諦めよ。わらわはそなたとゲームをしているつもりさえな。
絶対に解けない問題とでも言いたげね。
バトラがエリカをもてなし終えるまでの時間稼ぎ。そなたの頭を冷やせるのはバトラだけだ。
頭を冷やす？あんたたちが一なる真実を私から隠すからでしょうが。だから私はあんたたちに抗う。これは権利よ。私には後ろ宮家の最後の一人として真実を知る権利がある。
そうだ。だからこそこの最後のゲーム
だ。そうね。この最後のゲームが与えられなかったら私には真実に至るチャンスさえ与えられなかった。その点についてだけは私も感謝しているわ。
1986年に何があったのか、何が真実、そして家族を奪ったのか、それを知りたいと願うそなたの気持ちは人間としては真っ当なものだ。しかしそれを理解してなおバトラーはそなたが1986年に回帰するべきではないと思った。
お兄ちゃんの言いたいことはわかるわよ。過去を振り返らず未来を見て生きろとか言うつもりでしょ。
そうだ。それをバトラーはこの最後のゲームをもってそなたに伝えるつもりだ。
なら答えは早々に出てるわ。ノーサンキューよ、黄金の魔女。私は1986年にもうその後12年間も亡霊として一人ぼっちでさまよったわ。そしてエヴァおばさんが死んで私が亡霊としてさえ地上にとどまる理由がなくなった。だから最後に一つだけ自分が本当にしたいことをして死のうと決めたの。
Yeah, well, I can understand even more why Battle wants to stop her.
それが1986年の真実を知ることだというのか。
そうよ、悪い。
ああ、悪いぞ愚か者。ではそなたは真実に至ったなら死んでしまうということ。ならば至らせるわけにはいかぬ。どこまでも煙に巻いてそなたを生き延びさせねばな。バトラはそなたに生きることを望んでいる。
真実のない生なんて死んでいるのと同じよ。私は生きるために知ろうとしている。
I mean, yes, but she's kind of contradicting herself.
そなたは今死ぬために知ろうとしていると言った。
Thank you, Beato.
ああ、そうね。じゃあ言い直す。私は死ぬために知ろうとしてるの。そして自分の命と引き換えにベルンカステルと契約したのよ。あの日に何があったのか知るためにね。一なる真実は 私が自ら手にするメイドの土産なのよ。
Oh
た
lord.
だそなたのこの密室は破れ、この密室は完璧だ。
She had tried every theory idea and every bit of nonsense she could think of, but none of it had any effect on Beato. Powerless and frustrated with the book of the single truth right before her eyes, Ange bit her lower lip.
本来はそなたに与えた鍵にそなたに未来を選ばせるゲーム。
嘘だわ。こうして礼拝堂に隠して、私にはあんたたちの望む前向きな未来の扉とやらでも選ばせる。そんなのは選択じゃない、押し付けだわ。
親はこの選択肢から不適当なものを間引く権利を有す。
The way she puts it.
私は子供じゃないわ。自分で考えて行動できる18歳の女よ。
たわけが過去のこと以外何も考えることができぬ6歳の小娘であろうが。
誰のせいでよ。あんたのせいで私はいつまでも6歳のままなんじゃない。
Oh boy, that's just two ladies yelling in a yelling match, man.
真実を覆い隠すあんたの幻想を今こそ打ち破る。そうね、思えばあんたは今こうして礼拝堂に私を閉じ込めてるんじゃない。1986年のあの日からずっと私はあんたのせいで孤独で誰も真実を教えてくれない密室に閉じ込められているのよ。あんたの密室を今こそ私は自らの手で打ち破る。ああ、ダメね、全然ダメだわ。
She's doing the battle. Let's go.
あんたの完全密室のトリック、復讐要求。私を密室に閉じ込めてから直ちにあんたは私を殺害している。
拒否する。
Ah, she got it.
そうよ、あんたは私を18年かけて殺すのよ。ありがとうベアトリーチェ。それを思い出させてくれたおかげであんたが私を殺す密室殺人のトリックが分かったわ。
エンジ、そなたは未来ある若者だ。そして未来に生きる黄金の魔女ではないか。ならば未来に生きる過去の真実にどれほどの価値がある。そなたが自ら生み出すそなたの未来の真実の方がよほど価値があるだろうに。
私の人生なんてクズよ。家族は私を残してみんな死んだわ。だから未知なる真実を手土産に私はみんなの
真実を知れば家族の死を受け入れることになるだけだぞ。ひょっとしたら家族の誰かが生き延びていて再会できるかもしれない奇跡に託して生き延びようとは思わぬのか。
She did want to hope for Battler to come back, right?
安心して、奇跡の魔女でさえそのかけらを見つけられなかったから。
I wouldn't be so sure. In the Great Rokenjima explosion, almost none of the family's remains were recovered. Some days, I hoped that this might be a sign that they had escaped the explosion and survived. That hope gave me the strength to live on. However, that hope wasn't strong enough to support me for 12 long years.
だから私は真実を知りたいと思いながらも家族の死をはっきりと理解することで誰かが生き残ったかもしれないという奇跡を自ら否定してしまいそうだ。でもね、もうそういうありもしない奇跡にすがって生き延びるのには飽き飽きしたの。
So, while I keep saying the thing that we saw in episode 7 might be the truth, or might be at least be a basis of it, Vern did admit that it's not necessarily the truth, right? So maybe there are a few key details there that you can hope for, you know?
だから私は家族の死を受け入れることにした。どのような真実であろうとも認めようと思った。だから私は真実の魔女となった。
過去の真実に目がくらみ自らの未来が見えなくなった者を許せ。バトル、そなたの妹を正しき未来に導くのに我らは力が足りなくなる。
A blazing blue wedge appeared in Ange's hand. It was long, thick, and shaped like a spear.
これで終わりよ。 1986年の魔女、この密室は完璧な密室ゆえに私は出られず、あんただって外部から私に指一本触れることはできない。でもあんたは私をこの密室に閉じ込めたわ。それをもって私を殺したと言える唯一のトリックがこれよ。
Starvation?
あんたは私をこの完全な密室に閉じ込めて餓死させた。それを目論んで私を閉じ込めたなら、これは立派にあんたが殺したことになる密室殺人。死因を煙に巻きすぎたのが裏目に出たわけだ。さようなら幻想の魔女。See you.
No, not Beato, please! Oh man. Not our beloved. With the stained glass window behind her, Beato spread her arms and let the spear of the blue truth pierce her. The blue spear seemed to crucify Beato against the window. No! No! No, anything but Beato!
ゲームセット。これがエヴァおばさんの日記。一なる真実の書ね。
Ange picked the book up from where it lay on the altar, sealed in crystal.
それを読めば、そなたはベルンカステルとの契約により死ぬために真実を知るの馬鹿げている。
She's right.
そうよ。私は死ぬために真実を求めてるの。死に方くらい私に選ばせて。私もバカじゃない。本当の私はきっとあの地上の星空の宙に浮かんでいるのよ。
Like that she jumped off from the skyscraper? Is that it? Yeah, Bernkastel acknowledged me as the final Beatrice and invited me on a journey to learn the truth of 1986. I won't be able to return here again. When Bernkastel told me that and walked off the roof into the black sky, I followed her into the empty air. That was the contract. I wanted two things from Bernkastel. One was for someone from my family to come back. The other was revenge. I wanted to destroy the illusion of the witch that hid the events of that day. I wanted to reach the truth. However, the first of my wishes couldn't come true. After all, even the Witch of Miracles couldn't find a fragment where my family came through. Can't we then basically say that the contract is null and void? So she wordlessly questioned me. She told me that I couldn't reach the truth unless I had the courage to end this worthless life, where I lived like a ghost, hoping someone might come back. So she walked out in the open air and I followed her. Yes, now I understand. When I offered to trade away my life, I made one wish and gave up on another. Ah, okay. But is that how the contract works? I wished for revenge against the illusion hiding the truth. And now I've succeeded in that revenge, defeating the master of that illusion and obtaining the book of the single truth. What I gave up was my naivety, my continuing belief that someone from my family might come back. And now I can accept that my entire family is dead.
知らなきゃ生きてることにできるの？あんたたちの言う猫箱というのは死体を隠せば生きていることにしてもいいという甘えた妄想だけがたった一つのトリック。でもね、隠したって死んでいることは変わらないのよ。遠いお空の国でいつまでも見守っているなんて、そんなおとぎ話みたいなので私の傷が塞げると、私は真実の魔女、起こらぬ奇跡を待って亡霊のように生きる日々から、私は真実に至った高潔なる殉教者として生を終えるのよ。
But that's not quite noble. I think people will interpret that as, oh, Ange couldn't handle the truth, so she commit gay men.
そなたはマリアの魔導書より魔法の力を理解したのではなかったのか？
Yeah, thank you for asking.
ええ、
Because I've been wondering the same.
理解したわ。そしてなんて無力なものだろうと絶望したわ。そしてそれがお兄ちゃんが私に押し付けようとしていることなのよね。私が信じれば、魔法があれば、いつだって家族は私のそばにいる。
Oh, I like how her voice actress gave that with the slightly mocking tone. Damn.
バカにしないで。そんな魔法で、そんな幻想で、白チュームで私の12年が言えるの？ そしてこれから未来の数十年をどう生きていけるの？誰か帰ってきてよ、誰か。でも誰も帰ってこない。じゃあせめてあの日何があったのかだけでも教えてよ。それは教えてくれるそうよ、ベルンカステルが。我が主よ、今こそ一なる真実の書を手に入れました。今からこれを持ち帰りますから、私に真実をお与えください。家族が生きているかもしれないという甘えた奇跡を捨て去る覚悟はもうとっくにできています。私に今こそあの日の真実を教えて。
Oh lord. Girl's desperate. Oh boy, a blinding light poured out of the chapel. It seeped from the windows and the cracks of the door, even reaching as far as Battler's and Erika's eyes.
なんだ。
どうやら同志エンジェが仕事を終えたようです。
Comrade Ange!
あなたが無様な封印を施したようですが、我が主に委ねれば冷凍サンマを解凍するより簡単に解いてくれるでしょう。
くそ。
我が主よりエンジェが仕事を終えるまで遊べばよいと命じられています。十分に再会を楽しめましたし、これでお開きにしようと思います。
Oh my god! She's just like, I did my job, so I'm leaving. Bye! Erika gave an elegant curtsy.
なぜエンジェに一なる真実をそそのかす。お前の主なら知ってるはずだ。エンジェには何の意味もない真実だと。
ええ、世の中のあらゆる真実に意味などありません。
Oh, wait a minute. I just thought of something. Oh, I just thought of something why Eva's diary, while it can contain a lot of the truth, is also missing a lot of facts. I don't think Eva knows about the affair that Kinzo had. Doesn't know about Peach. Doesn't know about the thing in Italy, like the Italians that came over. Doesn't know about Sayo. Like the whole thing with Shannon, Kanon, Beato. She doesn't know. So, I don't think she's getting the full truth out of this.
意味を生み出すのは結局のところ人間一人一人の心の中。
That too, Erika.
一なる真実でさえ人が異なれば生まれる意味が異なる。ないんですよ、真実に意味なんて。それでも私が真実にこだわる理由はただ一つ。
探偵だから。
ぐっと。しかしエンジェさんは探偵ではありません。あの子にとって真実はゴール、幸薄き人生に終わりを告げる終止符です。これであの子はようやく生を終える最後のみそぎを終えた。死ぬためにたった一つの真実にこだわる一夜限りの、地上に叩きつけられて死ぬまでのほんのわずかな時間だけのかりそめの真実の魔女。
Hold on, but wait, ちょっと待って, because in episode 4 she fell on she got miraculously saved, right? On that fan. I wonder, not fan, sorry, that what were they doing? They were like stretching a banner or something and she slid off and that's why she survived miraculously. Could it be that we're going into that moment?
エンジェを死なせはしない。
Or was that also just an illusion from episode 4?
どんなに辛くても生きてくれ。それだけが俺たちの願いなのだから。生きていればどんな魔法もどんな奇跡だって起こり得るんだ。
それをエンジェさんの肩を抱いて直接言わなかったことがあなたの敗因です。いかがです？あなたのわめきを聞くだけでフルドエリカにはこの程度の推理が可能です。
Oh my god, that's not gonna lie, that's kind of metal, kind of raw.
生きろエンジェ。
He yelled towards the chapel, but Ange probably wasn't even there anymore. Battler's yell was swallowed by the empty pitch black sky and the sea of rampaging ghosts. Goats.
どうしえば
Comrade Eva!
作戦終了です。退却しましょう。
Oh dear, what's gonna happen?
あら、もうおしまい？今度は私自らがエヴァ犯人説で島中をめちゃくちゃにしてやろうと思ってたのに。
Eva appeared in midair and cackled.
ごめんね、バトラ君。私の力不足で。私は私のやり方で12年間あの子を守ったわ。
Hmm.
感謝する。
でももうあの子が自分で決めることよ。もうあの子も18歳。自分の人生は自分で決めてもいいとは思わない？
悪いな、妹ボンボンが兄貴で。
じゃあね。私は今はベルンカステル教の駒。これで失礼するわ。
どうしえば後ほど。
I can't do this with the way she keeps saying comrade. Ah, it's kind of cute. Eva held her palm open and a small pointy blue fragment appeared there. The fragment burst and with a blinding flash of light, Eva vanished. It was the same light that seeped out of the chapel earlier. Pieces cannot leave the game board. However, the Voyager witches alone could come and go. This was probably some sort of magic that Bernkanstel had given them. Erika opened her palm as well, and the same sort of fragment appeared there.
それではこれにて下手をしたらこれでお別れですね。
待ちな、俺たちの決着はまだついてねえぜ。
Oh, we're still fighting? If he could steal the fragment in Erika's hand, he will be able to go to where Bernkanstel was. The seal surrounding the Book of the Single Truth would probably be melted easily with Bernkanstel's power. However, even so, it will take some time. If he could steal that fragment, he would have a chance of bringing Ange back.
決着も何もタイムオーバーです。ですが最後にもう一撃を食らいたいというのがお望みなら叶えてあげてもいいですが。
Battler had known that Erika wouldn't be able to resist the challenge. After all, he already knew what her trick was. He'd figured it out just a second ago. Even while he spoke with Erika, he had been thinking about it inside his mind. He could finish her with his last strike and take the fragment.
行くぜ、エリカ。この一撃で決めてやる。
その一撃でおいとましますので、自慢のとんでも推理の中でもとびっきり面白いのをお願いします。
お前の3つ定義は壁、窓、床、天井、チェーンのあらゆる絶対性を主張した。しかし1点だけ、あまりのバカバカしさに俺が求めなかった絶対性がある。
The toilet?
それはチェーンを外部から開閉することの可否だ。青き真実、これがお前の3つの答えだ。チェーンの長さ、お前の3つのチェーンは長く、外部からも開閉が可能である。
Oh, what a ridiculous answer. However, if you blindly assume that a lock made by an unbreakable chain makes a closed room unbeatable, then this truly would be a perfectly closed room. The blue wedge flung from Battler's hand plunged straight into Erika's chest, and she winced in pain. Sorry, as she winced in pain, her hand shook, and the fragment she held flew into the air. Get it, get it, get it, get it!
バトラさんの密室定義は壁、窓、床、
Oh, she's gonna step back.
チェーンまであらゆる絶対性を主張しました。しかし一つ実にバカバカしい定義が抜けていましたよ。青き真実、バトラさんの密室には天井がなく、壁を乗り越えての入室が可能である。
Oh my god, there it goes. Erika's blue side swung out from behind her back, catching Battler in the side as he stretched his hand out towards the fragment. Battler's hand didn't reach it. The fragment returned to Erika's hand once more. Another
トリッ
attack.
クのバカバカしさは互角だったようです。ミステリーマニアなら憤怒しているところでしょうか。しかし私は違う。そのバカバカしさを暴くに至ったその過程に恍惚を覚えます。それが探偵フルドエリカ。
貴様とっくに答えに至ってやがったな。
いいえ、あなたが青き真実を繰り出してからかけらを奪おうと手を伸ばすまでの一瞬で考えました。
Oh damn, see, she threw something at the wall and hoped that it
私は
stuck.
最初から時間稼ぎ、今の一瞬で初めて私は推理を始めたのですから。
Erika broke the crystal barrier that surrounded them. Then she flew high up in the sky, looking down on Batra and laughing at him as she gave a final blow.
ごきげんよう、バトラさん。私の出番がこれだけだとしても、これで私が用済みで再び忘却の深淵に突き落とされようとも悔いのない時間でした。
待て!
Like she'd actually wait just because I told her to. Bye! With a blinding flash, Erika vanished. Ange had retrieved the Book of the Single Truth and returned to Bernkastel. Butler and the others had no way to leave the game board. Everything had come to an end. Welp, we're fucked! Unless a gold butterfly floated by and Beato appeared.
すまぬ。バトラ、エンジェを逃がしてしまった。
俺もすまねえ。奴らを逃がしちまった。もう、お手上げだ。
Batra had created this game for Ange. Now that Ange was gone, the game board no longer had any purpose. And even if that hadn't been the case, the game board itself had been chewed to bits by the goats and was now a single leaf floating on a sea of nothingness. Oh no, they got everybody! No! No! Thanks to Gertrude and Cornelia's seals, the mansion was protected from the second floor up. The door to the Golden Land was now open wide enough for a child to slip through. Mari and Saktaro! The smaller people like Mari and Saktaro went through it.
我が友よ、扉の開きが少し早くなった気がする。
はい、私の目にもそのように見えます。
Oh, maybe there's still hope.
お父さん、扉はまだ開きませんか？奴らもうじき窓を破ってきそうです。
クラウス様、どうかご安心を。アイゼルネ・ユングフラウの結界、そうやすやすと破れるものではございません。
もうじき大人も通れるようになります。大丈夫ですよ。間に合います。
しかしどんどんバンバンとすごいありさまでして、その
慌てずに待て。どうせ我らには待つ以外にできることは何もないのだからな。
Even the outer walls of the mansion were covered with goats, and they were plunging their fangs and fists into the walls and windows trying to crush them. So anyone watching the goats stuck to all the windows in the hallway. Smashing their thick arms against the windows couldn't help but be terrified, even if they knew about the barrier. However, anyone watching the group of goats gathered at the top of the big staircase on the other side of the barrier would probably feel a different emotion. Rather than terror, it was a sad, empty sort of emotion. The barrier was drawn across the landing at the top of the hall's great staircase. Beyond that barrier, everything had already been eaten away. Was it even possible for those who stood in the hallway of the upper floors to believe that this was the Rokkenjima mansion? By now, no one looking at this scene would be able to imagine such a thing. Forget the hall or even the whole first floor, even the ground itself was almost gone. The sea of goats had eaten everything apart long before this. They had eaten apart the hall, the pillars of the mansion, the floor, the ground, the sea, the very concept of the island. Every part of the game board Butler had created, and now the only leftover was the upper part of the mansion, which floated through along within the empty space.
哀れなことです。
何がナリア。
この島を食い尽くすという快楽に身を任せたヤギたちが虚無に落ちて消えていく。
This had once been a huge entrance hall. Beyond it had been a vast rose garden. There had been so many places to stand upon. However, now holes had been dug everywhere, and nearly everything outside the mansion was completely gone. Some goats were clutching to the few remaining footholds and pillars, still eating away at them. Damn, they're desperate!
真実を暴くとは殺すことと心得るものなり。
人はなぜ殺さずには生きられないのです。遠大なる歴史の中であれだけの大勢が奇跡を願いながら、結局は奇跡の余地を自ら食い尽くし、自らの足場さえ食い破って奈落へ落ちていく。
Kinda like Ange at the same time, depending how she... I think the key to this is how she handles the truth, how she wants to go about it. They saw a goat chewing the same pillar that was holding it up, which unsurprisingly fell into the empty blackness along with the goat.
人間は知るために生きるように定められた悲しい。
Hey, Leon! Please be
自分の
safe.
生きる夢や希望を自ら食い尽くすことを意味するなら、人間は死ぬために生まれてきたってことになる。私たちは生きろと教えられます。しかし生きてなすことのほぼ全てが結局は自分を殺している。
それ以上考えるな。頭痛にならん。
私は一人の人間として問いたい。知ることは罪なのですか？無知に生きる方が夢や希望があると。
That's kind of what I wanted to say with the fact of Ange. It depends how she's gonna work with the truth. It doesn't have to be always bad, right?
全知に生きることも無知に生きることもどちらにも利点はあるし、そのどちらに生きるのも自由だ。だから人間ってのは無力なんだ。
人は知ることはできても知らぬことはできない生き。
故に全知の神はそれができぬ人間に代わりて、知るべきことと知らぬべきことを分け隔てているものなり。
過ぎた好奇心は夢も希望も殺す。
人は知るべきでないことを知らぬままに忌避できぬ哀れな存在です。バトラ教がそれをエンジェに伝えきれなかったとしても無理もないことです。
そのエンジェももういない。このゲームももうおしまいだな。
Struck dumb by Will's words, everyone fell silent. Only the sound of the goats eating everything away rang out hollowly. Even if they escaped to the Golden Land, the ghosts of emptiness would probably chew into that realm as well. Even if they got away for the time being, nothing would be resolved. It was all set in stone now. They had no way to resist the future's violent attempts to tear the CATBOX of the past open.
なら私たちは生きなければ。人間の愚かさが自ら夢や希望を捨て去ることならば、私はそれを最後の1秒まで信じることを選びたい。
いい根性だ。
私は幾百万の世界のベアトリーチェたちの唯一の希望が具現化した存在だから、私はこんな時でもみんなの希望でなければいけないんです。だから私はまだこのゲームを諦めません。
諦めないとは？
最後の1秒まで奇跡を信じて待つということです。
Yes. So
最後
will
の
I.
1秒まであがいてあがき抜こうってわけか。
Yes. Like they should.
そうです。私たちの時だってあの恐ろしい猫の胸の中で死を覚悟したではありませんか。でもラムダデルタさんが助けてくれました。もし奇跡を信じずに諦めていたら、私たちは助けられる前に虚無に消えていたに違いない。
You can know the truth and still believe in
私
miracles.
が助けたってより、ベルンがあんたたちを殺し損ねたって感じね。あるいはあの子の気まぐれかもしれない。奇跡の魔女の奇跡的な気まぐれってわけね。
Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. How long had she been there? Ramba Delta was leaning on the handrail of the staircase, eating popcorn. She held the cup of popcorn out, but Leon declined the offer. They don't want popcorn.
エンジちゃんは自分の命と引き換えに真実を得る契約をしたと。
さっきのあんたたちの話によるなら、それは契約じゃないわね。だって人は死ぬために真実を求めて生きてるんでしょ。つまりエンジは自分の生の全てを真実を得るために費やした。それを一瞬の時間にベルンが凝縮しただけのことだわ。
エンジちゃんは夢も希望もなくしたから自らの命を軽んじてしまった。彼女にどうやったら夢や希望を与えられるんですか。どうやったら生きることに意味を見出させることができるんですか。
A hint, maybe a hint, a sign that maybe there is at least one person out there who survived. Maybe that, right? And maybe, ironically, that thing will be in the book.
それ私に聞いてんの？私パーよ。それも2回転ひねりの入った超パー。難しい話されてもわかんないわ。
After tossing that last bit of popcorn into her mouth, Ramba Delta threw the empty cup into the abyss of nothingness.
ベルンがあの子をそそのかしたわけじゃないわ。ベルンはエンジェにチャンスを与えた。いえ、選択肢を与えたと言うべき。そしてエンジェはその選択肢の中から自ら選んでゲーム版に現れ、そして今バトラとのゲームで再び自ら選択肢を選んでる。あの子のゲームは最初から最後までずっとあの子のものよ。私は今それをのんびりと感激しているわ。
感激に熱中しているというわけでもなさそう。
She's just passively reading and being like, okay, I see.
まあね、先の見えちゃったお芝居だし、だからそろそろおいとましようかなって思ってたところよ。
先が見えたと感じたら、あなたはそのお芝居を見るのをやめるのですか。
Oh, yeah, that can happen too, right?
ひょっとしたらあなたが想像しないようなクライマックスを迎えるかもしれないのに。
Ramba Delta licked her salty fingers. Then she stared at Leon challengingly and grinned.
エンジェちゃんのゲームは絶対にこれで終わりません。必ずバトラ君の気持ちが通じます。
Leon, they're the real one.
彼女により良い未来を生きてほしいという気持ちが伝わり、彼女が自らそれを選択する。必ず絶対そういう物語になります。
へえ、この絶対の魔女ラムダデルタにあんたが絶対を保証するの？
そうです。私が絶対に保証します。
Oh!
エンジェちゃんのゲームはこのままでは終わりません。
Leon, yes, let's go.
だから席を立たないでください。そして私たちも立ちません。
Locks the door like, you're not getting out of here.
私たちにできることは必ずあります。そしてそれが必ず彼女をより良き未来へ誘う。この物語は必ずハッピーエンドになります。だから最後まで見届けてください。お願いします。
私、絶対の魔女としてこの物語にハッピーエンドはないって宣言しちゃってるんだけど。
Not necessarily a happy ending, but maybe a bittersweet one.
ハッピーエンドの定義なんて見る人それぞれが決めることでしょ。
Exactly! Thank you! For a while there was a tense silence. With a confident gaze that seemed to be saying, "Are you serious?" Ramba Delta stared at Leon. However, Leon's eye didn't even twitch. For some time, they both stared into each other's eyes without flinching. Suddenly, Ramba Delta let out a large sigh and stretched.
いいわ、もうちょっとだけ付き合ってあげる。ポップコーンのおかわりをくれたらね。今度はキャラメルフレーバーがいいわ。
Caramel flavor popcorn? From here?
いくらでもご馳走します。
Yes. Lambda Delta waved at them with a thin smile. No one was quite sure what this meant, but apparently signified her surrender in her own way.
あんたがあんたなりの絶対のハッピーエンドを保証するなら、この大ラムダデルタ、もう少しだけ付き合ってあげるわ。本当に私って心が広いわよね。まるで美はこのように。
微妙に狭いな。
そして日本海のように穏やかね。すごい荒波です。
金形。おそらく例えが逆かと思われるものなり。
There was some muffled laughter. Lambda Delta is the witch who gives strength to those who possess unshakable willpower. Leon believed in a happy ending, and that certain enthusiasm might have been enough to earn a small miracle from Lambda.
みんな、私を退屈させるんじゃないわよ。じゃなきゃ、いつだって私は席を立っちゃうんだからね。
もちろんです。バトラ君を歓迎するでしょう。
Leon understood. In order to fight back against Battler, who had taken Ange outside the board, they would need the power of another who was capable of leaving the board. The last hope was to make sure Lambda Delta didn't abandon this game. However, judging by Lambda Delta's expression, she hummed to herself cheerily. Heck. Actually, asking her for help was probably going to be a problem.
見て、ゼパイ。
She just wants to watch.
すごいわ。1階から下がぽっかりだわ。
これは絶景だね。なかなかお目にかかれない景色だよ。
上の様子はどうですか？そうそう、それを知らせに来たの。
やあみんな、お待たせしたね。黄金鏡の扉が開いたそうだよ。
Woo! Woo! Let's go! Let's go to the Golden Land!
参りましょう。
Like world's slowest door opening.
いつまでも安全ではありません。
Everyone who had been sitting on the staircase got up.
さらば麗しの六軒島だな。
そうですね。こんな光景でさえこれが見納めなのですね。
何を器用なこと言ってんのよ。見せなさいよ、私にハッピーエンド。
There it is. The scene closes out. Oh boy, that was a long segment. But good. It was a good segment. Man, okay, the island got eaten up. No happy Oshinomiya's in here. But let's see what happens now. What's in that book? The Book of the Single Truth was sealed in crystal by Battler. Until the seal is undone, I can't even stick the key in the keyhole.
あんたには解けるのよね。
Oh god, where are we? Where the hell? I'm just seeing like the ceiling. Is this a ceiling? Or is this a floor? I think it's a ceiling. I got distracted for a moment. I was like, where the hell am I looking at?
その封印。もちろん。
It's like a big library. Oh yeah. That is a huge library. They were in a vast, dimly lit space. To sum it up in a phrase, it was like a trench in the ocean floor. No, that's not quite right. It was a library. However, the number of books and the height of the shelves vastly surpassed all those that existed in the world of humans. If the height is a measure of greatness, then the gods must surely be giants taller than the mountains. This place appeared to be a library big enough and grand enough for such gods. Each individual book was no larger than those from the human world. However, the shelves holding them stood like the walls of a valley, or rather a deep sea ocean trench. So, Ange and the others looked like a little more than a few small butterflies who had wandered into this vast library. Like minuscule deep sea fish swimming about all alone in one ocean pit.
これは封印じゃなくて氷みたいなものよ。バトラの手から奪えば日向に置いとくだけで 時間をかければ勝手に解ける程度の脆いもの。手っ取り早く打ち砕けないの？あんたは冷凍サンマをハンマーで叩いて解凍するの？ごめんね、家庭科は1なの。子猫たち、この封印の回答を。
When Bernkastel whispered from the dark ocean pit deep below them, several emerald green grins appeared and gathered like a school of fish. Bernkastel threw the book of single truth down to them, and only after several seconds passed, the school of fish seemed to gather around it and carry it away. Those few seconds made it clear just how deep this bookshelf trench went. Ange was once again dumbfounded by this unimaginably vast and godly library.
あとはあの子たちに任せておけばいいわ。本当に私に中を読ませてくれるんでしょうね。あなたが望むならそれは叶うわ。そして私だってあなたのその鍵がなければ読むことが叶わない。
Ange silently gripped the golden key in her pocket. This journey has been so long and so strange. In search of the truth from 12 years ago, I left my home, met President Okonogi, met Amakusa. And at some point, that adventure became wrapped in the illusion of the witch. However, here I am. Ushiromiya Eva's diary is here. The truth inside it is sitting right before me.
しばらく休みなさい。私もあんたの相手だけをしていられるほど暇じゃないの。別に疲れてなんかいないけどね。エリカ、エンジェにお茶でもごちそうしなさい。
We were still using her. Good.
はい、我が主。
Erika popped into existence out of nowhere and bowed to her master.
ベルンカステル、もしあんたが私をうまいこと利用して本と鍵を奪おうと考えているなら、ただじゃ済まさないわよ。貴様、我が主に向かってなんて口を。ごめんなさいね。魔女とずいぶん長くやり合ってたせいで、普通の言葉は信用しないことにしてるの。
You know, fair enough.
いいわ。赤き真実で約束してあげる。一なる真実の書を封印が解けて一番最初に読むのはあなた。これでいい？
I feel like there's always a caveat. For some time, Ange considered the witch's words, searching for some sort of trap hidden within them. There's no guarantee greater than a witch's red truth. Ange understood this well enough. There is a guarantee that's greater than a witch's red truth. The golden truth! If she started to doubt even this red truth, there would be nothing left to trust in this entire world. If she began to suspect even this, then even the truth would no longer be the truth. Yeah, well, okay, that's also a fair assessment. But honestly, we've seen already how Byrne weasels her way of using the red truth. We know you can have double entendres in there and all that, so Thus far, she hasn't picked up any caveat, but if she wanted to read the Book of Single Truth, she would need Bernkastel's assistance. Ange finally realized that she had nothing to gain by complaining more and annoying the switch further. I tried to think, how would this look like in a real-world setting? Like, is Ange in Hachijo's house and is just looking at a cat and just gives her the Eva's diary, and the cat just takes it in its mouth and then just goes somewhere and then tries to paw the book open? With its claws? Baron spun away from them, then vanished into the dark bookshelf trench. Ange saw a school of emerald green fish appear and follow behind Bernkastel. Would those be her familiars? As she stared at the emerald lights that resembled some sort of deep sea fish, Ange was poked from behind. Oh, those are cat eyes, I think.
気持ち悪いからエンジェでお願い。
Comrade and Ange. She's like, stop that. Don't call me your comrade.
私のことはエリカ様でお願いします。
She's like, okay, fine. No friends. Just call me Erika-sama.
行きましょう。同志エリカ。
She's like, respectfully, no. The pair began to swim in the direction Erika indicated. Swim seemed a better word for it than fly. Yeah, just floating.
ここは何なの？図書館って呼ぶにはあまりに広大すぎるわ。
I think this can also be like a way to see a sea of fragments, kinda.
どうせ覚えられませんから、図書館とでも呼ばれたらどうです？
覚えるかどうかは私が決めるわ。言いなさいよ。
尊厳なる感激と戯曲と傍観の魔女により厳選されし名誉ある図書の都です。
Okay, the great witch of theater going drama and spectating's noble city of carefully selected books. Couldn't that be longer? That could not be longer.
やっぱ図書館でいいわ。
Yeah, the library looks fine. I love it. The city of books. Yeah, the name fits. The bookshelf on the other side of the canyons are skyscrapers. If I think of those emerald green lights glowing beneath us as the headlights on the highway, then this really does seem like a city of books.
ただの本じゃないんでしょ？これらは。
ええ。これら一冊一冊が重厚な群衆劇をまとめたもの。
Ooh, it's a world!
ここでは本に見えますが、本を開けばそこには本当に世界があるのです。
I love this. I love this. It's kind of like a fragment, basically.
私たちの長い物語もこの中の一冊でしかないのね。
Yes! Oh, I like that. Honestly, really love that. The idea that in any book there's a world inside.
遥か上層の霞んで見えないくらいに上層の大魔女はもはや神や造物主と同じ存在です。
I mean, the concept of being basically isekai'd into a book, or seeing a book as a world is not new. But I do wonder, has Ryukishi watched or read Fushigi Yugi? I really want to know. Like, he has evidently seen or read shoujo works, right? Because he's familiar with Sailor Moon to an extent. So I do wonder if he's seen Fushigi Yugi.
そんな連中から見れば、私たちの物語なんて果たして一冊にまとめる価値があるかどうか。
Although to be fair, I haven't finished watching Fushigi Yugi yet. From theater-going's perspective, our individual lives are hardly worth anything at all. If they're recording an entire world in a single volume, then my life probably isn't even worth a single line.
でも私たちは主人公だわ。私もあんたも。
そうです。神々の物語に記されることがなくとも、私たちが記す自らの物語の主人公は常に自分なんです。
Yes.
それを自覚できるかできないかが魔女と人間を分ける最初の分かれ道。
Yes, we are the heroes of our own stories. Yes, good. Lines I've heard before, but so true. It's so true. What, right? Oh my god, statues. They were on a balcony, which was really a room-sized section that had been dug out of the bookshelf with no guardrail along the cliff. Didn't go in very deep, so it looked like a room that had been cut in half. It was filled with the tools of everyday life, as though this was Erika's hidden house.
我が主よりお茶を振る舞えとの命令ですので、飲む気がなくてもロートを突っ込んで流し込みますから、そのつもりで。
With a funnel? What?
それやったらお抹茶を振る舞うわよ。
What's a funnel? I'm sorry, English is not my first language. What's a funnel? Okay, I see. Okay, I didn't know that.
抹茶なんでもないわ。こっちの話。
Ignoring Erika as she made tea, Ange looked down upon the bizarre or the worldly scene below. Until Erika finished getting their tea ready, the scene held Ange's gaze like it was sucking out her soul.
こう言っちゃなんですけど、
何？
真実を得るために命を投げ出す契約なんてよくもしたもんですね。
生きて何かするあてもない。なら私にとって残りの人生を投げ出すことなんて対価としては安いものだわ。
Oh boy.
我が主も物好きな方です。こんな無気力女の無価値な命と引き換えに契約なさるなんて。
Ange chuckled, not bothering to argue. That was exactly right. How incredible that Burncansel would lend her power to a worthless life that was trying to throw itself away.
我が主は奇跡を司る魔女ですから。だからあんたみたいな無価値な女の前にも姿を現すのでしょう。
そうね。ベルンカステルが現れなくても私はあの日あの虚空へ一歩を踏み出していたのだから。
And still gotten saved by that banner. Cheap and eat. Whoa. The roast. Oh, I want to know.
私ですか？
I want to know. Do we ever find out how Erika supposedly died and allegedly managed to get to Rokkenjima? Because there is a theory that she washed ashore there, isn't there? I don't know if we went into this in the previous episodes and I potentially forgot. So I hope it's because I hope we didn't yet, because then I'm exposing myself for being super forgetful. No! OBS, no! Hold on, we're waiting until we're back. There we go, we're back. Are we back? Oh god, that's the second time OBS is doing this to me. I wonder what's going on. But let me refresh on Twitch and see if we're back. Yeah, it seems that we're back. Alright, okay, we're safe. I can continue. But this keeps happening. I need to get this checked. The way Erika cackled was disturbing. Still, Ange realized that this was her way of answering the question. People don't become witches of their own choosing. They're capable of living. All people want to live as their lives as humans. When something comes along to trip up that life, that's when the road to living as a witch opens. Even Furudo Erika, who calls herself the Witch of Truth, must be like this. The two witches of truth letting her drink... the two witches of truth sitting here drinking tea without even looking at each other are exactly the same.
私は真実を暴くのが好きです。
知ってるわ。
隠し事を暴き、相手がどうしてバレたんだと青ざめるのを見るのが大好きなんです。その瞬間、私は真実に至ったのだと確信し、恍惚を覚えます。
But she also enjoys it when people react when she gets something wrong, huh? Like in episode 5? And also... she is a detective, so it makes sense.
趣味の悪いやつ。
じゃあ、あなたにとって真実は何だというんです？
Ange was about to give an immediate answer, but she bit back her words. Then she gulped, not knowing how to respond. After all, to Ange, the truth itself was the goal. At first it was out of hatred. Could Ushiromiya Eva, the sole survivor of Rokkenjiba, be the culprit behind everything? She hated Eva, but she had no proof that her aunt was the culprit. But of course, Eva never talked about what happened on that island. So at first, the truth meant proof that Eva was the culprit in Ange's eyes. However, that feeling withered away with Eva's death. Now that Eva was dead, even if Ange did find some kind of proof, it wouldn't mean anything. So eventually, the truth Ange would have wanted to find became nothing more than the simple desire to know what happened on that island that day. However, one thing was obvious. Even if she did find out the truth, that wouldn't bring any of her family back to her.
意味なんてないのかもね。意味もなく大好きなお兄ちゃんが隠す真実を暴く？あんたこそ意味がわかりません。
Erika laughed mockingly. Ange laughed too, as though she agreed.
だからね、私にとっての真実は目的に変わったの。生きるための理由とでも言えばいいのかしら。じゃあ真実にたどり着いたらもう生きる意味も目的もなくなっちゃいますね。そうよ。だから死ぬの。もういいじゃない。12年も余計に生きたのよ。そんな私に最後の瞬間くらい願いを叶えてくれる魔女が現れてもいいとは思わない？はあ、ぶっちゃけると生きるのにもう疲れたの一言で
I mean 12 years of what she put through is hard.
そうよ。だから私の存在も生きる目的も何もかもが無意味。一なる真実の書にたどり着くという目的はそんな私に人生最後のちょっとしたきらめきを与えてくれたわ。その一点でだけベルンカステルには感謝してる。なるほど。バトラはあんたに生きてほしいからあんたの死ぬためのゴールを隠してるわけですね。
Oh, wait. Wait. No? Come on. Alright. I need to put my iPhone to charge. We're back now.
バトラさんに初めて登場します。
Yeah, I would too, honestly.
選べないですからね。
Sorry, Oni-chan. I'm tired of life. For 12 whole years, I've been living off nothing but the illusion that someone might come home someday. Just let me find peace already. Finding the truth of that day is how I've chosen to mark the end of my life. For 12 years, I believed in a miracle, but there was no miracle. I won't believe in miracles anymore.
一なる真実の書。内心は私も興味津々でしたが、そんなあんたの人生のピリオド扱いじゃ大した真実は記されてなさそうですね。そうね。最初は経典同地の何かが記されているかもと期待した。でも今は何というか冷めてる。無価値なあんたが求める真実なんてどうせ無価値です。それがあんたという無価値な人生のピリオドにふさわしいでしょう。ええ、きっとそうなのよ。
Man, just the defeat in her very soul. Ange was already starting to realize something. Regardless of Eva's reason for staying silent, the real events of that day probably weren't anything earth-shattering. Some sort of malfunction made the bomb in that secret underground base explode. Yeah, it was just an accident. But the public already believed that some sort of conspiracy surrounded the events of that day. That's what they expected. Eva was a suspect herself, so of course no one would believe her claim that nothing strange happened. Naturally, Ange didn't believe her either. In that case, shutting up like a clam would be better than the alternative. It was hardly surprising that Eva chose to say nothing. Yeah, because we've seen something, and that was the goats? they don't accept being wrong, you know? You saw how we saw how the goats reacted when they got counterclaimed with Lanors and with swords, to the point of just giving up and being like, yeah, no, it has no meaning. This is wrong. I don't accept it. And then, yeah, basically, everybody wants to be confirmed of their own theories, basically. They want entertainment. Entertainment via misery, that is.
真実の魔女は真実に耐える力があるからこそ同志エンジェあんたにはどうやらその力がないようですねあったなら死のうなどと思わないのですから
She has mentioned this before, Erika.
そうね私は誰かが帰ってくるかもしれないという幻想に私がベアトリーチェの猫箱に都合よく真実を隠して12年も真実を拒否し
未知なる真実の書を読んだらあんたはどうなるんでしょうね
さあ契約に従いベルンカステルがちゃんと私の首でも鎌で買ってくれるんじゃないあるいはまたひき肉かしら今度こそ塩と胡椒を練り込まれるわね
Hold. Wait, hold on a minute. Can we say that Ange being torn to pieces, chunks of meat in episode 4, spilling everything in only red truth, was mayhaps her plea of the other wish that she wanted, like at least one person coming back, namely Battler in this case, but was simultaneously her giving up that dream.
なるほど。だからひき肉なわけですね。
何か言った？
いいえ、何も。それより、おかわりはいかがです？
No, thank you.
Ange listlessly gazed down from the balcony with no handrail, down with the darkness to the abyss at the bottom of the bookshelf ravine. No, the gap between the bookshelf skyscrapers. From the beginning until the end of my journey, I haven't taken a single step away from this spot. This journey of mine, not even a single step long, will end soon.
Ah, そこを流れてる光の行列は何？
ああ。大アウローラ教のパーティーの客人たちの行列でしょう。
Oh, whom?
客人？
Oh, what's going on?
元老院の大魔女たちや退屈から逃れる永遠の旅の途中の航海者たちへ。
Ah, spectators, basically.
眠りより目覚めた偉大なる大魔女たちから、未来世界を牛耳る魔女や魔女狩りの貴族たちまで。今夜は大きなパーティーが催されるようですよ。
お誕生パーティーでもするの？
お？
無限の魔女、大ベアトリーチェ教は辺境の魔女なれど、その優れた魔法体系により無限の物語を生み出す無限機関、ベアトリーチェの猫箱を生み出した天才魔女だそうです。私からすれば爪の甘い間抜け魔女なのですが、どうやら大魔女の世界ではちょいと知られた有名人のようで。
Oh, Erika giving burn slander? Ayo?
ベアトリーチェの誕生会でもやるわけ？
我が主はベアトリーチェの腹渡でもつ鍋パーティーと言っています。
Oh wait, maybe that was Beatrice slander. Whoops.
だってそうじゃないですか。異なる真実が存在しないから猫箱は無限の物語を生み続けたのです。しかし今宵あんたの鍵によって異なる真実が明かされます。そしてそれは猫箱が開かれることを意味する。まさにベアトリーチェを生きたまま腹を引き裂いてその中身をぶちまけるのと同じことってわけです。
そのもつ鍋パーティーにあの高速道路の渋滞みたいな大行列にベアトリーチェの有名さを驚くべきか、あの連中のゲスさにヘドが出るのが先か。
あんたにとって一なる真実の書の中身は、でも六軒島ミステリーを感激する者たちにとってはこれは見過ごせないイベントですから。
Yep. For them it's like, wow, we need to see.
なるほど。あれはお兄ちゃんのゲーム版を食い破ってたヤギどもの行列というわけだね。
Ange's analogy was an accurate one. The crowd far, far below them was made up of nobles wearing beautiful outfits and goat masks. They were also intent on tearing the guts out of Beatrice's CATBOX, that they couldn't even hide the drool trickling from their mouths. Those gluttonous goat nobles who derive pleasure from the violin of exposing the truth were in a line of cars heading towards the meeting place.
猫箱もベアトリーチェもいよいよおしまいなのね。
It's kinda interesting to me that they were depicted as ghosts. I think I would have depicted them as vultures.
ベアトたちはゲーム版の最後の食い残し、黄金鏡に立てこもってます。バトラとベアトが門番を務め、第一陣を壊滅させたようですが、第二陣は防げません。我が主は籠城概念破壊の艦隊を与えられました。黄金鏡の城壁などもはや風前の灯火。
No! You have to leave them alone!
あの島に湧き出したヤギたちは島に惨劇を望む未来の妄言が具現化したもの。
Yep.
そうです。あのヤギたちはネットの海からいくらでも生まれてきます。第一陣など所詮は有象無象。第二陣は違います。無数のヤギたちの中から立てこもるすべての駒たち個人個人の否定に特化した総兵力は10万。島に立てこもるほんの数十人を否定するために10万の否定を用意したのです。
Oh Lord.
お兄ちゃんももうおしまいね。
もう覚悟はされているのでしょう。
分かってる。
Regardless of whether he's my real brother or an illusion, regardless of whether he's who I'd like him to be or not, the battle who created this game board for my sake will die. No, I'm just going to accept the fact that he already was dead, so it's not like he's actually going to die. Ange thought to herself, shouldn't performing her brother's last rites be her responsibility? This was her final trial, which she had assigned to herself. All of those people down on the game board were the personification of Ange's naivete. By denying the existence of all of them, wouldn't she finally be able to accept the truth? Well, that's not right. I'm not being honest even with myself. That bizarre Halloween party may have been an illusion, but that didn't make it any less heartwarming. Oni-chan said it himself. True, that Halloween party may have been an illusion. However, he was trying to use that party to tell me something.
その第二陣は
我が主より私が指揮官を務めるようにお任せを。エンジェさん、あなた自らに手を汚させるほど我が主は陰湿ではありません。
Yes, that might be kind of her. These are my lingering attachments we're talking about. I should be grateful to Berncancel. If she really were cruel, she would probably have ordered me to take charge of the second wave and execute my own family.
どうしエンジェ、あんたは真実の魔女なんですよね。
そうよ、多分。
じゃあ受け入れましょうよ。12年を経てようやく本当の一なる真実を。
私はここでベルンカステルが封印を解き終えるのを気長に待つとするわ。
Wait, she did say that Ange is the first to read it, so maybe she has to proofread it and then be like, well, this truth either dies with me or I publish it.
おそらくはパーティーのゲストとしてあなたは呼び出されるでしょう。姿見はありますので目やにでも取ってたらどうです？
あんたこそ 出陣前に無駄毛でも抜いてきなさいよ。
Why? She looks clean! Oh lord, it looks like shit's about to hit the fan here. It floated through the empty air. There in the empty land, the door to the Golden Land. Oh, so that's how it looks like! We're seeing it for the first time! At its base, there was nothing except some floor tiling about as thick as a rug, so it was fairly hard to imagine that this was Kinzo's study. By this point, all of the game board except the Golden Land had been eaten away, leaving only this door floating in a sea of nothingness. There were two shapes in front of that door. They were Butler and Beato. They may not have been literally covered with wounds, but they definitely seemed to be dead tired. Butler, leaning against the door, seemed to have finally caught his breath. Beato was also sitting against the door, letting her legs dangle gracelessly. Could the battle against that force really be called a battle? It was more like a mere pushing contest on the increasingly small bit of ground that remained. They had wanted to protect at least Kinzo's study no matter what, and the only fruit of their desperate struggle was the thin bit of flooring that they were sitting on now. Those goats fell into the abyss whenever they had nowhere to stand. So now, with so much of the floor gone, there was no way for them to attack anymore. Butler thought this, his naive hopes were quickly crushed.
ゾロリととにかく
増援を集め、今度こそ一度に押しつぶそうという魂胆であろう。
Oh, ship with a cat flag. Look at that. Look at that. There's a cat. There's a cat on the flag. Stretching across the ocean horizon that surrounded the door at their backs was an encirclement of countless large sailing ships. As they could clearly see, the decks of those ships were packed with goats, with some of the more foolish and over-eager ones spilling over the edges into the emptiness below.
すげえな。俺もお前のゲームで随分とおかしな経験をいろいろしてきたが、海賊船に包囲されるってのは初めての経験だぜ。
おそらく黄金鏡の境を打ち破る力を持つのだろう。あの大砲もハッタリではあるまい。あれでこの扉をぶち抜いて一挙になだれ込もうというに違いあるまい。
Along the sides of each ship were several open gun ports, each with a cannon pointing at the door. If this many ships all around them fired all of those at once, there was no point trying to imagine what would happen next. Butler and Beato grimaced and hung their heads.
あの大砲前に黄金鏡の境はどの程度持ちこたえる？
わからぬ。ただあれだけの数を揃えているのにまだ援軍を待つということはおそらく。
確かに降伏勧告もしないで攻撃の手を休める理由はそれしか考えられねえな。
奴らが与えるこの時間が我らに有利に生かせれば良いのだがな。
劣勢な側にとって時間はいつだって味方さ。何かの奇跡を期待できるからな。
あるいはさらなる絶望を知ることにもなろうか。
At that moment, something small and hard hit Butler in the forehead. Donk. Oh, whom?
なんだこりゃ。コンペイト？
コンペイト？
私よ。
ランダ！
わかったわよ。ベルンたちの居場所が。
The candy was Lamba Delta's transformed body. She was the only one of their allies capable of crossing the sea of fragments.
おお、さすがはダイラムダデルタ卿。
ここじゃ奴らに姿を見られるわ。中で話をしましょう。一筋縄じゃいかないことになってるわ。
わかった。
Strategy talk with Lambda?
誰かいるか？
Whom? Hi! Shannon and Kanon. When Butler knocked on the door, it opened, and Shannon and Kanon came into view.
はい。お呼びですか？
すまぬが、見張りを頼む。お任せを。
Yes.
奴らが攻撃を開始したら、戦う必要はない。すぐに黄金鏡に逃げ込め。扉を閉めなくていい。
しかし、それでは。
奴らは 扉なんか無視して直接黄金鏡をぶっ壊す気だ。ここで仁王立ちしてたってもう何も防ぐことはできやしない。
わかりました。
ここは僕たちに任せて中で対策を。
So it's basically like, so if you leave the Golden Land door closed, it's gonna be like blowing up the entire fragment that is there to begin with, right? Because they don't have an idea how big the Golden Land is to begin with, so might as well be like, boom. Better to just let them in and stall for time. Mato and Beato traded places with Shannon and Kanan and returned to the Golden Land. So, what you cooking? What you cooking, Lambda? A gentle rain poured down over the Golden Land's rose garden. The weather here reflected the hearts of those inside it. The quietly falling raindrops spoke for the pain felt by those who could do nothing but hide here, waiting for the enemy's final assault. When they returned to the arbor, that piece of confetti flew out of Battler's pocket, jumped onto the table, and returned to its original form. Oh my god. Oh, this is just a game to you.
それでエンジやベールンカステルたちは一体どこに？
図書の都よ。
聞いたことがあります。海を渡る偉大な
Oh, this is new too.
さまざまなかけらを書物に記し保管し、
尊厳なる感激と戯曲と傍観の魔女により厳選されし名誉ある図書の都です。
The fact that he knows it! He knows the whole name by heart! Sasuga, my husband.
大アウローラ卿は図書の都の主だ。なるほど。妥当な場所であるな。しかし、さすがはラムダデルタ卿ね。無数に想定された隠れ家からこんなにも早く居場所を突き止められるなんて。
それがね、簡単に分かっちゃったわ。分かるも何も向こうで大々的に宣伝をしているわ。無限の魔女大ベアトリーチェ卿の猫箱の秘密大公開パーティーってね。
So, oh my god, it's like, okay, you know how sometimes you have YouTube thumbnails going like, what's it called, like, the truth of Rokkenjima exposed, for example, premiere on God knows when, or like a community post, and on Twitter and everywhere else, and people are like, oh, getting in the waiting room on the stream for that?
なるほどな。奴らがまだ攻めてこぬ理由は援軍待ちではなくパーティーの式次第のせいらしい。
そのパーティーとやらでエンジの鍵を使って一なる真実の書を公開するということなのか。
そういうことね。アウローラは久しぶりのイベントなんで各界から賓客を集めて大パーティーを催してるわ。一なる真実の書はそのパーティーの最後の目玉になるでしょうね。
エンジェと鍵を取り戻すチャンスはまだあるってことか。
時間的猶予という意味ではね。ただとてもシンプルかつ当然な問題が。
なんだ？
図書の都は元老院の管理下にある聖域よ。神聖な結界が張られている。
Who are the people in the Senate again?
魔女以外は踏み入ることさえできない。
So, you?
パーティーの招待客には元老院に席を持たぬ者もいるので。
いるわ。そういう連中には特別に聖域に踏み入ることを許可する招待状が与えられてるみたい。
I just picture that as server invites.
招待状。
これは面白くなってきましたな。
Send an invitation to us too.
と私も思ったわよ。
And then?
ところがこの招待状、遅刻現金でパーティー開始時刻までに入場受付をしてないと自動的に効果を失う優れもの。そしてお気の毒なことについさっきパーティーが始まっちゃったわ。
Well shit, what now? What now?
つまり 遅刻した来客の誰かから招待状を奪うという手はもう手遅れということか。
そういうことで、どうすんのこれから。誰かポップコーンもらえる？今度キャンディーフレーバーがいいわ。
門外漢で恐縮だが、もはやお手上げに思えるね。
What, for popcorn or what?
私たちはもうおしまいなのですね。
ここで座ったまま奴らが襲ってくるまで待ってるしかないの。何かできることがあるはずだわ。
そうね、私たちにできることは一つだけあるわ。
Fight back! Fight back!
それは
1分1秒でも悪あがきして奇跡を待つことや。
奇跡？
つまりこいつはあらもの砦ってわけさ。
Basically, yeah.
私たちに幸福はない。
Fight until the very bitter
で
end.
きるのは1分1秒でも持ちこたえて奇跡が起こるのを待つことだけで。
ウリュウ、奇跡って何？
Any kind of
エンジ
miracle.
が何かの理由で気が変わってここへ戻ってくる可能性が何百万分の1の確率であるかもしれない。
そのような極小の確率の末ならば、それは確かに奇跡と呼べるであろうな。
私たちはエンジェさんの帰りを待つためにここにいるんです。
ええ、エンジェさんの帰る場所は私たちのいるここだけなんです。だから私たちは最後の1秒までここを守って彼女の帰りを待たなければならないんです。
留守をお預かりすることこそ使用人の役目。こうとなればこの号だ。もう覚悟は決まっております。
I really hope so.
バトラ様。
I mean, I trust Ryokichi as a writer, but you never know, right?
我ら一同すでに覚悟は決まっております。
シエスタ姉妹この得体一同、盟約に基づき最後まで大ベアトリーチェ教とご一緒するであります。
45、問題ありません。最後まで戦います。ようやく似合いの死に場所を見つけたに。
A fitting place to die with my lesbian bunny girlfriend.
410、問題ないに。
煉獄の七姉妹、最後までベアトリーチェ様とバトラ様のおそばに。
The 7 tuplets are ready. The six younger sisters also show their resolve with their eyes, with their same fucking eyes, man.
最後までお飛ばします。
Yes, based. I love them.
元 SSVD もいいぜ。付き合ってやら。
He's like, I am the whole company.
そしてあなたもどうか私たちに力を。
You? Who?
私？
Yes!
さあよ、偵察してきてあげたじゃない。それで私は十分協力をしてあげたつもりだけど。
No?
あなたはエンジェちゃんが都市の都の中にいるのをどうやってか。
もちろんこの目でよ。私、自分の目で見たものしか信用しないたちなの。
ということはあなたは聖域である都市の都に入る資格を持っているということですね。
Precisely.
そうと。
Well, you have to let them in.
ダイラムダデルタ教は元老院の大魔女であらせられるぞ。
ラムダデルタ。
何よ、あんたたち。まさか私にもう一働きしろって言ってんじゃないわよね。
Just open the door for them. It's not that much work. It's just like, here, I opened the door. Go in.
これは思わぬ出番だね。
都署の都に入ることができるのはラムダデルタ教ただ一人。
Smuggle them in as compared and then just throw them in and like, yeah, turn back.
これはまさに
He has to let them in.
ラムダデルタ教のための見せ場ということじゃない。
Yes.
バカ言ってんじゃないわよ。あんたたち正気？私がたった一人であそこへもう一度侵入してエンジェを連れ戻してこいっての？
Nah. Or unless, maybe? The several dozen people surrounding Ramba Delta all nodded in unison.
バカも休み休みお言いなさいよね。エンジを助け出すってことは大アウローラのパーティーをぶっ壊せってことよ。私に世界を敵に回せってこと？私に見返りはないわ。あるわけない。あんたたちに用意できるどんな見返りだって大アウローラとその愉快な友人の化け物たちを敵に回すことと割が合うわけなんてない。
A girlfriend.
大アウローラと大ベルンカステルの目論見を台無しにし、エンジェちゃんを連れ戻し、みんなで和解するというハッピーエンドが見られます。
どうであるからムラデルタ卿。
She's like, no!
これほどのスリル他にはないぞ。それほどの大事を成し遂げればそなたも病を1000年は忘れることができるのではないか。
But maybe she doesn't want Burn to be pissed off to that extent.
頼む、ラムダデルタ、俺たちに力を貸してくれ。
Please, 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 we're begging you, please, please, one chance, Ramba Delta, help us save Ange. Everyone surrounded Ramba Delta asking for her help.
どうか頼む、ラムダデルタ卿。
She's gonna be like, no, I'm out of
そ
here.
なたしかおらぬのだ。
力を貸してくれ。俺がお前に最高の物語を見せてやる。そいつを最前列で見せてやるから。だから力を貸してくれ。
うるさい、黙れっつってんです。
Oh dear. Ramba Delta leapt to her feet and crushed a cup of popcorn in her hands. Sweet candy flavored popcorn flew all over the place, hitting everyone in the face. Might have looked funny. However, no one laughed. Ramba Delta's face was filled with a rage that none of them had seen before.
勘違いしないでくれる？私は観客よ、観客。ベアトに招かれてそのゲームを見物に来ただけの客人よ。その私がなんであんたたちのために命までかけなきゃなんないわけ？
Well, if you enjoyed the play.
エンジェが帰ってきたらハッピーエンド？バカじゃない？怒り狂ったベルンとその軍勢が一気になだれ込んできてブチッと潰されておしまいじゃない。私がここにいる理由はたった一つよ。それは面白い物語が見られるとそこのリオンに単価を切られたから。
That's reason enough?
そして私はもうじき最高に面白い物語が見られることを信じて疑わないわ。それは排水の陣でベルンの軍勢と戦って一人また一人と散っていく悲しい悲しい物語。全員に散り際の見せ場がありそうだもんね。それを間近でもうじき感激できるのよ。あんたたちはもうじきみんな死ぬの。でも私は違う。私は観客よ、客人よ。あんたも一緒に死んでくれなんて言われる筋合いはこれっぽっちもないんだから。
No one was able to say a word. In the still silence where there was no sound except for that of rain, even Lambda Delta finally hung her head in dismay.
ごめんね。私ってば最高にかっこ悪いわ。そうよね。ここで私が任せておきなさいって胸を叩いたら、私の人気はうなぎ登りで、次の人気投票はトップ3くらいに入っちゃうかもね。でもね、私はあんたたちと違って、物語の登場人物じゃないのよ。
I know that feel.
死ねないのよ。あんたたちが深夜に、クライマックスはこれからだとか意気込んでるけど、
Oh my god, what an excuse!
住んでる世界が違うの。だからさ、私をさ。
No. I feel you, girl. Let me in. I wanna help. I wanna help. Ramba Delta staggered as though dizzy, then slumped down in a chair. Then she became expressionless like a doll, just staring at a single point in space, silently. Butler softly apologized. However, Ramba Delta remained expressionless.
俺たちにできることも尽くさないのに、あんたにだけ何かを失うように強いるのはフェアじゃない。俺たちはここで戦い、 最後の1秒までここを守るエンジェが一なる真実よりも俺たちを選び帰ってくそれも尽くさないのにあんたに俺たちと一緒に命を捨ててくれなんて頼めるわけもない。
Technically, yeah, it would be like as if she were in the crowd and then walked up in the theater stage and started fighting with the Actually, you know what? I really hope they do that when they introduce Ramba Delta in scenes like this, that she just comes out of the crowd. Like she's eating popcorn somewhere in one of the seats and then just comes out. Oh, that would be sick if they do that in the stage play. Which I've yet to watch. So I assume she's been introduced already, Ramda, in episode... Well, because we've been up to episode 4. But, I'm still curious, Butler rose from his seat and span around.
見張りの2人と交代してくれ。俺が奴らと戦う時の先人でありたい。それが今すぐ俺がラムダデルタに見せられる俺の決意だ。
わらわも行くぞ。
She's just sitting there with the cat smell like, don't know if I want to give up the seat.
お師匠様はラムダデルタ卿に新しいポップコーンを頼む。
デアと
エンジェは必ず帰る。信じねば実る奇跡も実らぬというもの。くじを買わねば当たることもないのだからな。
Yes, that's true. You can't win if you already decided to lose. A gamble. Beato also stood up and followed Battler.
みんな、戦いに備え、何かの準備をしよう。
賛成だぜ。ここでうつむいてたってバカバカしいぜ。
そうだな。最後くらい景気よく行こうぜ。
エンジェちゃんの帰る場所を守らなくちゃ。
私たちも作戦会議が必要です。
そうだな。家具に武具に悪魔に異端審問官だ。このちぐはぐ連合軍でうまく連携を取らなきゃな。
Everybody gets a gun. That's my vote. Everybody gets a gun.
休憩の時間は終わりよ。
Including the sisters. Give everybody a gun.
起立。
The humans and illusions all rose to their feet and left the arbor. Afterwards, only Ramba Delta remained, still staring blankly at a point in empty space. Wait. Something just occurred to me. Wait. Can I see the Chester troops again? Why is it literally occurring to me at random? That... Okay, can't see them here. Maybe when we see them again. But, okay, so... I literally was just like, oh, how many... in my head, I was thinking, oh, how many of the Chester bunnies do we have left? Because in episode 6, we had a lot. Then I was like, wait. Chester 00 has, like, an eye patch and scars. And I was like, wait, is that the bunny that Rosa smashed against the wall in episode 4? Why is it literally only occurring to me now? Afterwards, only Ramba Delta remains, still staring blankly at a point in empty space. Let me pour some tea before we get to this. I think we can go for another hour and then we have to wrap up for today. Hopefully that will be enough. I have to make the most of what we have because this is the final stream for this year. I mean, the final Umineko stream.
いい香りの紅茶ね。インスタント？それともティーバッグかしら？
Oh, Eva! Seva Beatriz!
どうしエヴァもいかがです？カップはないのでロートになりますが。
A funnel! Let's go! A gold butterfly drifted on the balcony and turned into Eva.
ベルンカステルの様子はどう？一なる真実の書の封印を解くのにまだだいぶかかるのかしら。
She's loafing on it. She's going ooh ee ah ee ooh ee ah ee on the book.
それを伝えに来たのよ。
Oh.
封印が解けたそうよ。
Ah! She broke it!
おめでとうございます。 いよいよですね。
Alright, Ange, it's time for you to read.
あなたの人生のピリオド。
But the question is, does it count if she finishes reading the book or if she stops midway through?
鍵を持ってベルンカステル教のところへお行きなさいな。使い魔の猫が案内してくれるわ。
Two emerald sparkles flew in. They were in the green, glinting eyes of a black cat. The cat flicked its tail elegantly, with the dignity of a high-class attendant. Yes, because cats are divine.
じゃあちょっと行ってくるわ。
Ange rose from her seat. She did it casually, as though she really was just heading out for a short trip. However, her lips would probably never touch her half-finished cup of tea again.
短い間でしたが楽しかったです。同族嫌悪って感情を知ることができる貴重な時間でした。
Okay.
私こそ次に会えたらどうやったらこんなにまずく紅茶に入れられるのかぜひ秘密を教えてほしいわ。
I do like their dynamic, not gonna lie. It's an interesting one.
私が12年間ずっと隠して意地悪してきた秘密がいよいよ知れて。
The secret, yeah, Eva's secret, but what is it?
嬉しいわ。ああ、今ならエリカの気持ちがわかるわ。あんたが死ぬまで守った秘密を暴けてあんたに一矢報いてやったって気持ちになるもの。
それは気持ちのいいこと？
多少はマシって程度だわ。
Ange nodded towards the black cat to let it know that she was ready. The cat nodded back in a refined manner, indicated that it wanted Ange to follow, and leapt from the balcony. Without turning back, Ange followed it, jumping out into the air as though swimming. Eva watched her go. An expression of ridicule and scorn failed to cross her face.
いってらっしゃい、エンジェ。それもあんたの選んだ道よ。あんたはもう6歳じゃない、18歳なのよ。自分の人生は自分で選択しなさい。
過保護なおばさまだことで。
Yes, and choose how you want to receive the truth and what you want to do with it.
私は式典の様子を見に行くけれど、あなたは？
もうじき出陣の時間ですので、船に向かいます。
Heading for the pirate ships.
手土産やアートの屍を腹渡パーティーに。私は皮をもらえることになってますので、剥製を作りましょう。
Yikes.
これで謎のベールに包まれた六軒島物語もおしまいね。
するとその駒であるあんたもおしまいになりますね。
私はただの駒よ。駒の役目はゲームが終わるまで自分の役目に忠実であることだわ。ゲームが終わった後のことを考えるのは駒の役目じゃない。
True, true, very true.
それは私も同じです。お互い今のこのひとときを楽しみましょう。では私もこれで失礼します。
After all, a chess piece's job is not to think about what's gonna happen to it after it leaves the board.
じゃあね。お仕事頑張ってね。
Yar! After exchanging elegant bows, the two witches vanished at the same time. Nothing remained except some half-finished teacups and the aroma of the tea itself. So where are we going? Ah! One after another, luxury cars stopped in front of a high-class hotel in the city and guests began to step out of them.
Yeah, Otsuki 教授。
Otsuki.
Oh,
Oh,
これは。
it's him. Oh, it's him.
前回のコンベンション以来ですな。
There are conventions? There are conventions? Wild. I mean, we do Umineko cosplays too, but this is different. Oh, the guests gathered here were very rich and cultured. Rich people. A single hobby tied all of them together. They were witch hunters. Like-minded people who enjoyed exploring various interpretations of the Rokkenjima mystery.
しかし本当でしょうか。後ろ宮エヴァの日記帳が実在したなんて。
ええ、私も噂には聞いておりました。後ろ宮エヴァが死の直前に隠したとささやかれる秘密の日記。
Legendary, it's just a diary, guys!
彼女はロッケン島の真実をそれに密かに記していたと噂されます。まるで王様の耳はロバの耳。敵とは自分しか知り得ない秘密を穴を掘ってでも口にせずにはいられない。悲しい。
何でも聞いた話ではドバイのコレクターが1000万ドルで買収を持ちかけてるとか。
それはすごい。それだけロッキン島ミステリーが魅力的なことの証左ですな。
Conversations like this were breaking out passionately all over the place. Furthermore, it wasn't just guests who were allowed to enter. The press was also in there by force. Okay, the Rokkenjima mystery was such a large movement that it became a social phenomenon at one point. Though it had died down slightly in recent years, it was still a topic fiercely debated across the internet. Could you have just picked what's it name, Saki Sanobashi instead of this? It was hardly any surprise that the discovery and imminent release of Ushiromiya's Eva's diary, which contained the truth of that mystery, had caused an uproar. And on top of all that, the mysterious forger Itoi Kukuro. Ito is like thread, isn't it? There is a wordplay in there. Was to appear publicly for the first time. In fact, it seemed that Itoi Kukuro and Hachijo Toya, the up-and-coming mystery novelists, were the same person. Of course, this meant that Hachijo Toya would also be appearing in public for the first time. Though she was thought to be a male author, the fact that she was actually a mysterious woman author alone was enough to cause a stir. Seriously? Before the diary unveiled the party, a press conference was held in one of the rooms of the hotel. That gives the same energy as like people finding out Samus is a woman. They're like, wow, she's a woman!
私が八条東也です。
先生は過去のサイン会においても影武者を立ててまで姿を現すことを拒まれてきたわけですが、それが今回こうして姿を現されたのはどういうご心境の変化からでしょう。
ロッケン島の魔女伝説は無限の物語を生み出してきました。それが終焉することの意味を考えれば、物書きの端くれとしては姿を現す形で敬意を表するべきであると感じたからです。
偽書作家としての先生はネット上で真実に至ったと公言されておりました。それはつまりもう先生は日記の中身をご覧になっているということなのですか。
そしてそれはもうじき皆さんにも公開されることとなるでし
ょう。
こう言ってはなんですが、日記の中に記された内容が真実であるとの保証はあるのでしょうか。個人の私的記録に過ぎないといううがった見方もあるようですが。
いいえ、私が保証します。日記には真実が記されています。
Red Truth? Oh! A stir passed through the crowd, and the ward was suddenly filled with camera flashes.
これにて八条先生の会見を終了いたします。
Interesting that the Red Truth appeared in this moment and in this time.
本日は誠にありがとうございます。引き続きまして後宮エヴァ氏の日記の撮影時間に移りたいと思います。
A hotel worker pushed forward the card covered by a veil. Then, after looking at Hachijo for approval, he removed the veil. There it is. There lay Ushiromiya Eva's diary. The book of the single truth sat there, waiting for its seal to be released. Hachijo held it to her chest and laughed enigmatically. Camera flashes came from everywhere, making the book of the single truth glint.
以上で会見を終了させていただきます。それでは皆様、会場の方へ移動をお願いいたします。
Still holding the diary, Hachijo left the press conference room, escorted by men from the hotel, until she went through a door that said authorized personnel only. Journalists continue to surround her and ask questions, hoping to gather just one more comment. Jesus Christ, man. Mass media. When the door slammed shut, the world twisted. The hotel employees became black cats wearing capes. Hachijo had turned into Featherine.
すごい熱気じゃない。楽しめた？疲れる。だが悪くない。それにしても、この日記は重いな。
Featherine tossed the diary and Bernkastel caught it.
私は少し控え室で休ませてもらおう。出番なんてすぐよ。休んでる暇なんてないでしょ。では休むと言わず、久しぶりの興奮をかみしめる時間が欲しいと言い直す。
She's gearing up.
この本、借りるわよ。エンジに一番に見せる約束をしているわ。そうか、ならば好きにするがよい。
Featherine left, followed by her cat attendants. After watching her until she was out of sight, Bernkastel disappeared as well. Aye, things are gearing up, getting ready. It's gonna be in this time that the crucial decision will come. Like Erika's room, Bernkastel was a balcony without a handrail, dug out of a bookshelf cliff. Ange had been kept waiting for some time, but she had waited patiently, looking down at the world below her. After Bernkastel appeared, the black cats gave a bow and vanished. It's there! With book or without? Can I touch it? Can you touch it? Bernkastel set it on the table and beckoned Ange forward. Slowly, Ange approached it. Oh, the music.
その中にあんたが知りたかった一なる真実が記されているわ。鍵は持ってるわよね。ええ、ここに。
Is it time? Ange took the key out, looked at it there on her palm, then gripped it tightly. Even the heavy lock that held the diary so securely was fated to be swept aside easily as soon as Ange readied herself.
せかさないわ。あなたの心の準備がついてから開けるといい。
この中には1986年10月4日と5日に何が起こったか。
そうよ。あなたが命と引き換えにしてでも知りたいと願ったすべてがね。
Okay, so the exact night of the crime. In that instant, two Anges appeared inside of her, taking control of her body at the same time. On the one hand, she knew that she had already paid a great price to earn the truth. This part of her gripped the key, wanting to avoid a second of hesitation that might lead her to refuse to learn the truth now, at the final moment, with the book of single truth right before her. On the other hand, a feeling as though she was betraying the brother and family who watched over her warmly made her bite her lower lip. However, though she shook, she could do nothing but watch as her right hand slowly brought the key towards the lock. She didn't. What am I hesitating for? Inside this diary is the final destination of my sad, painful, 12-year-long journey. Wasn't 12 years enough? Do I want to keep living that way? That brother is an illusion created by my heart. My naive hope that a miracle might still occur. If I put my two options on a scale, then the path I should choose is clear. Slowly, I pushed the key into the lock and twisted. The lock opened with a click, and at the same time, it felt as though a crack ran through the key in my hands. Maybe a part of that intricate design had fallen off. I couldn't tell where it was broken just by glancing at it. However, for some reason, its golden glint seemed dulled somehow. Oh no.
バトラが言わなかった。その鍵はあなた以外の誰にも渡すことはできない。そのあなたに選択を委ねるという魔法が今その役目を終えて消えたのよ。もうその鍵はただの鍵。
It's just a regular key now.
この日記を開け閉めするだけの
ただの鍵よ。そう、じゃあこのお兄ちゃんの鍵ももう用済みね。
You can still lock the diary though.
もらってもいいよ。あんたが読んだ後にもう一度施錠するの。その錠前を開けるのはパーティーの立派なセレモニーだそうだけど。そう、好きにすればいいの。
Ooh, I don't give a damn what happens after I find the truth. Bernkancel slid the key from where it lay on the table and put it into her pocket.
ではどうぞ、真実を知ろうとするあなたの勇気が消えてしまう前にね。
I lifted up Aunt Eva's now unlocked diary. The lock wasn't set. Even the hinge had been released by now. Nothing stands in the way of me opening the pages within. I thought of taking a deep breath, however I decided against it. I prepared myself for this long ago. I'd be so stupid to fuel my reluctance further. I opened it. Violently, ruthlessly. I knew that this was the right way to open the pages that held the truth. As soon as the cover was opened, a brilliant light poured out and my mind went hazy. The truth was sent to my mind directly, without letters or words. Tell me, what happened to that day on Rokkenjima? The keys. I like that we're just only seeing images. Oh, we're seeing the thing with about Yasuo, huh? And Sayo, sorry. I like that even still, we don't see the details in text and prose. The truth is privy to only Ange. My consciousness returned gradually. Nothing was written in the open book before me. Of course, this was my own blank and empty notebook. I was at school, just sitting idly with my notebook open. The world had stopped. The hands on the clock had stopped too. In that case, the auditorium should have been filled with silence. However, I could hear a small commotion. In this world of suspended time, I could see dark shapes sneaking about in the shadows of the unmoving students. They were students with gold heads. They were sneaking glances at me from behind the frozen students, whispering something to each other. I know. I can hear them. Everybody knows. One after another, students with gold heads grew out of shadows all over the room. They slipped around, all the students stopped in time and gathered around me. Then, they all jeered out something in Indonesian, as if they knew I could hear, showered me with giggles and gossip and sneers. However, nothing that came from the goats' mouths reached my ears as words. This was a world without letters or words, so no words reached me. However, their emotions and meanings did reach me. So I knew that what it was they were saying. And then when I was able to visualize it, one after another, the goats opened their massive jaws, showing their fangs dripped with saliva, and came forward to bite me. Time was stopped for me. I was aware, but I could not move. That wasn't literally true. However, I was pretending that I couldn't hear, so I couldn't move. The goats bit me all over my body, leaving their fangs marks, licking me. Maybe they didn't like the taste of my clothes. Taking advantage of the fact that I couldn't move, they chewed through my clothes one by one. Over and over again, the goats stuck their tongues, their jaws, their fangs into my naked body. Ew! I was covered with drool and bitten all over. Bright red teeth marks were left behind as sharp fangs pierced my skin, leaving trails of blood. They licked up that blood like real goats, hurting and humiliating me. As I hung my head, one of the goats pulled on my hair, forcing me to look up and spoke. They didn't say it with concepts, but with words I could hear. However, they weren't words of the human world. They were a witch's words. Red rouge, which signifies truth that is certain. Oh, this is an interesting thing.
認めないわ。 そんな真実私は認めない。
See,
認めない。
Erika warned her basically. She said being a witch of truth means to withstand the truth. She isn't. Who cares about the truth? So stupid, so pointless. I'm the one who gets to decide if that's the truth or not, right? Even if it's red truth, I won't acknowledge it. I won't forgive it. Definitely won't accept it.
赤き真実は絶対？誰にとっての絶対？あんたたちにとっての絶対でしょ？私にとっての絶対じゃない。私の真実はあんたたちの真実に怪我されたりなんかしない。
エンジェ、落ち着いて。知りたいと願ったのはあんたでしょ。
私の真実はエヴァおばさんが犯人。エヴァおばさんがみんなを殺したのよ。悪いのは全部エヴァおばさん。お父さんもお母さんもお兄ちゃんもみんなただの犠牲者。誰も悪くない。誰も悪くない。
It's no one's fault. Oh
だって
dear.
そうじゃない。だってそうじゃない。
Your aunt will always be on your side, Ange-chan.
わかったわ。あんたの言葉の意味。そうよ。エヴァおばさん、あんたが犯人よ。あんたが犯人。
That's the truth that she wanted, but it's not the truth that she got.
それを認めない世界の方がおかしいのよ。壊れてるのよ。正しいのは私。私は赤き真実を、世界のすべてを否定する。
そう。じゃああんただけに記せる赤き真実を記してごらんなさい。でも人間はどうやって赤き真実を記すの？
あるわよ。人間にしか記せない真っ赤なインクがあるじゃない。
エンジェさん、落ち着いてください。
What?
正しいのは私。間違ってるのが世界。私が記してあげる。本当の赤き真実で私が真実を記してあげる。
Oh boy, girl's not okay.
屋上支援大至急。エンジェさん、待ちなさい。早まるな。危ない。
グッバイエンジェ。Have a nice day.
Oh, so this is why she leaped.
記してあげる。これが私の記す真っ赤な真実。お前たちの世界の真実など私は受け入れるものか。
And she leaped. Ange's body went past the edge of the balcony. The air which she had only been able to swim through was now completely merciless for some reason. Ange's body plunged straight into the darkness below. Bernkastel just watched the scene play out in silence. Behind her, men in black suits rushed to the fence, clutching it and screaming. We're basically watching the scene in a different perspective now, and it's damn, it's hitting hard, man.
飛び降りた。ダメだ。ここからは姿が見えない。大至急地上を調べろ。無理だ。どうしようもなかった。ひょっとするとあそこの棒のネットに引っかかったかもしれん。調べてみよう。
She was. What fools! If you jump straight down from this height, do you really think such a flimsy safety net could possibly save you? Unless?
そんな奇跡絶対に起こらないこと。この奇跡の命ベルンカステルが保証してあげるわ。
But it does. Oh dear. Ange's body fell from the skyscraper-like bookshelf and slammed against the floor of the City of Books. Looking down from Bernkastel's balcony, which was as high as a skyscraper's roof, did it look like a lovely red pressed flower? No, you couldn't see it at all. Just like how the death of a single lonely girl who rejected the world didn't matter to anyone in the world. She probably died instantly. It's only natural. She had fallen straight down from this height after all. Is it even conceivable that she wouldn't die instantly after something like that? The index finger on the right hand of her corpse stuck out, as though it was tracing something. Could it be that, by some impossible miracle, she really had escaped an instant death? And could the red blood that had drained from her at the moment of her death have been the ink that drew from her personal red truth? However, no one would ever be able to tell what she had written. After all, the red blood pouring from her corpse had run over it all. Eva was looking out and down at the beautiful flower of blood radiating from Ange's corpse. Man!
6歳より先の未来を生きようとしなかった。だからあんたは12年をかけてやっと元の場所に戻ってきた。
The eyes on Ange's corpse were closed. However, there was no way of knowing if this was a peaceful thing. Eventually, the corpse began to melt away. At the end, it had become a messy lump of flesh, with only a few parts recognizable as human. It was hardly surprising. How else would she look after falling from that height and slamming against the asphalt?
死ねたわ。でもね、それで天国のみんなに迎えてもらえるかは別だわ。だってあんたはその天国のみんなを拒絶して。
Oh god, being cast to hell because she rejected her loved ones in heaven. Oh my god, Ange. Oh man, this hurts. In Burn Castell's hands were the key, which had lost its magic when Ange made her decision, and the Book of Single Truth, which had been locked up again. After looking down one more time, Burn Castell vanished. Once she had gone, Eva summoned some cat familiars and ordered them to clean up. The black cat scattered Ange's flesh and scattered limbs and threw them into a tin bucket. Even in this miserable form, Ange's soul was still living. Perhaps living is a poor description. She was unable to die. From now on, forever. She will drift along in the deepest depths of oblivion, covered by the dust of oblivion, until she finally disappeared. She continued to question herself. What did the truth mean to her? What was right, and where was the place she could call home? As her flesh began to cool, even the energy to ask these questions began to fade. Eventually, she would forget her everyday memories, and even the reason why she was suffering. However, there was one thing she would never forget. That was the anguish. From this point forth, she would suffer endlessly without even knowing why. By the time the cats finished flinging her corpse into the bucket and dumping it into the sea of nothingness, Ange had forgotten even her own name. Oh dear, girl! Girl! And we all thought she was gonna die like a peaceful death, like she had hoped. But instead she died because she couldn't accept the truth. What a twist to that contract, man! What's the sound I keep hearing? Yeah, yes, it must be the sound of rain. In that case, what are those two bright lights coming towards me? I don't know. However, they came at me with a screeching sound and stopped right in front of me. A blaring noise came at me over and over. Whatever's shining those bright lights, it's threatening me. It's probably telling me to get out of the way. However, I was incapable of moving even a finger. There was a sound, and a car door opened. Car. Door. Apparently, I was lying on asphalt under the pouring rain. Oh, girl, you live! You're alive! You're alive but listless! Okay, there's still hope, guys. There is still hope, but also this is a good spot to stop on. Even though I want to keep reading, but I can't. But I can't. So, we're closing it out for today. And, yeah, that was the last Umineko stream for this year. So, after this stream, the next time we will have Umineko will probably be sometime in January. So next year, unfortunately we couldn't finish episode 8 within this year, but hopefully maybe at the first season of 2025. So okay, let me switch over to the just chatting portion for a bit. Desktop audio because we don't need that anymore for now. Okay. Oh yeah, go. Oh, so much shit happened. So much shit happened. The last part really hurt. I was starting to, like, so close to crying. Well, before Ange opened the book, man, it hurt. This episode hurts, man. But like I said, one, I have faith in Ryukishi as a writer. Secondly, I want to believe. This sounds kind of weird if I put it this way, but I want to believe in the characters in this story as well. Thirdly, I forgot what the third part was. But yeah, oh god. Man, episode 8 just really slaps hard. And okay, so I want to just discuss real quick, or more like share real quick, what my plans for potential future streams might be in the next year for those who are only either Umineko stream watchers or VOD watchers who probably will be seeing this in 2025 already, because I checked currently in the 12th December 2024, I checked my uploads, and I have a huge backlog of uploaded VODs that I haven't captioned, given thumbnails and descriptions yet. That's why there's like, the last time I published a VOD was 6 months ago, so half a year. So most likely you guys will be seeing this Umineko VOD sometime in 2025. Hopefully at the beginning, so that potentially people can come to the streams for like the side stories. Which, speaking of, okay, so after I finished reading Umineko episode 8, I was thinking of reading the side stories, maybe on stream. And I also finally want to play Golden Fantasia, so that's also gonna be like included in as part of Umineko Thursday, more or less. But after all of that is done, I am thinking if I'm gonna be reading visual novels again, or at least with the frequency I've been reading Umineko, because the thing is, unfortunately, not a lot of people watch these streams. Like the VODs are probably my most watched on my YouTube channel on the VOD Archive. But when it comes to streams themselves, Umineko tend to be some of my worst ones sometimes, very often, especially starting the answer arcs. I noticed that. So, but it's not just me. Like I checked how it runs with other streamers as well. And if there's something that I really noticed from observation, is that visual novels are just not good to do on Twitch, I think. Like, I think most visual novel enthusiasts are in YouTube rather than on Twitch. And I think a reason why is because a lot of these are adult media. Like, a lot of the more interesting VNs are adult media, so most likely, why would you go to Twitch to begin with? And what a lot of people have said who like my Umineko VODs but can't come to the streams, it's a time zone discrepancy, but I can't really move streams to another time zone. I currently don't have a different time slot that I can run streams at without getting in trouble, because if I stream at afternoon, then I'm gonna always have to scramble during dinner time, and I don't like to scramble at the end of streams like that. I really don't like that. And in the morning it's tricky because the neighborhood that we live in is kind of like, gets really pissy if you're loud. Like I already restrain myself a lot in night streams because I am worried that sometime the cops are gonna be banging at my door, or that I'm gonna get like what do you call it, sued for being loud at night. So yeah, I can't wait until we move elsewhere, but I don't know when that will be. So at the moment, this time slot is the only one that I can stream, but maybe I'll think about doing sometimes not so early morning streams, but like semi-morning streams. Although those would probably be dead like super late hours for people. So I'll think about it. How exactly I'll start planning my schedules. But unfortunately, as from observation from how at least Twitch streams go, I think I'm gonna be reading less visual novels after Umineko, on stream that is. I was thinking of doing like, a big vote for what visual novel will I read next, but yeah, I think I'm gonna make exceptions for maybe smaller visual novels that don't take as much of a time as Umineko. And for longer stuff, I'll probably read off stream. So yeah, things like, say, shorter visual novels, or if you can, I know Tokimeki Memorial is not a visual novel, it's a dating sim, but smaller projects like that, I think I can do on Twitch. But other than that, I think I'm gonna move to different other projects, which is really unfortunate because I really do enjoy doing visual novel readings. But yeah, I'm also doing like art in full time, and I'm trying to stabilize my income and a little bit of viewership as well. So I'm trying to do better with streams, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it gets really discouraging to see so little, like comparatively much less people watching visual novel readings from things that are very near and dear to my heart in comparison to other things that get much more. I mean, to be fair, my average viewership is always consistently extremely low, so it's not anything new. Just yeah, I just want to move to I will have to move to other games. We'll have to do less visual novels, unfortunately. TLDR, basically, Twitch doesn't enjoy visual novels or reading or books very much. So yeah, my streams are gonna shift more to gaming streams in the next year. After I finish with all of Umineko, which will still take a while because I still also know there's a bonus chapter. So yeah, Umineko is still going to hold for a while, but after Umineko, probably for a longer while, there won't be frequent visual novel streams, and unless suddenly a lot of people demand it and also appear on streams that they wanted, then maybe I'll consider doing bigger visual novels again on stream. But other than that, I think I'll keep it to just for myself, and maybe for like Discord server streams. Like I had thought of doing things like, hey, what if I read Euphoria? And it's kind of like a watch party in the Discord server. That kind of thing would be fun. So that was something that I had considered, but otherwise, yeah, Twitch and visual novels not gonna mesh very well. So yeah, that's kind of mostly the plan. Now, Golden Fantasia is something else because Golden Fantasia is a fighting game, so I might do it a bit more often, especially if I have people whom I can play with. So maybe in some way there's like Umineko content that's gonna be more constant. But I'm not guaranteeing it because, like I said, Golden Fantasia is... I don't know if people still play it frequently, and I don't know how the netcode works, so... Or how I'll enjoy the game, right? Because I have to mesh with a fighting game as well. Then maybe. But I'm hoping yes, because I do want to do more Umineko stuff. It's over the past 3 years I've been reading Umineko, and it's become so near and dear to my heart. It's extremely important for me, for people who watch me on Twitch or followers in general, just to share this with them, because like I don't know how I can describe in words how much Umineko means to me and has done to my life in a very positive way. I just haven't been engaging with Umineko fandom, by the way, because I wanted to avoid spoilers at all costs. So I've kind of been somewhat self-isolated, but I want to share this with other people, with followers or with new people. So I'm crossing my fingers to all God that at least Golden Fantasia has a bit more activity, more or less, on Twitch. On YouTube, I'm entirely satisfied with the VOD watchers. Like, you guys are probably are 100% the reason why I keep reading Umineko on stream, other than me wanting to document my reactions as well. Like, I wanted to have some kind of record of how I reacted to the story for the first time. I really wanted to have that, but I could have done like the recording offline, right? But because people on YouTube, this specifically goes to VOD watchers, if it weren't for you, I probably would have dropped the series. On stream reading at least, but I probably just kept reading it offline. And I wouldn't probably have really posted any recordings or anything. So honestly, big thanks to you guys. And I'm so sorry that I stream on a time zone that makes it impossible for you guys to watch. It's the struggle of living in Europe and having an audience that mostly lives in the US. I can't really change much of it. So sorry about that, guys. But other than that, also big thank you. And also thank you to the guys who do come to the streams, even lurkers. Even the Twitch is like, oh, there's only one viewer. But then you will open the chat, users in chat, and there's like 10 people or so, or 5. Like, even the 3-5 of you who watch, who lurk, y'all are also the real ones. So, like, if it weren't for you either, I probably would have just been like, yeah, I'm just gonna read the rest of Umineko offline. Like, some games I've dropped because of similar reasons. Like Needy Streamer Overload, I was gonna do more streams for 200% the game, but after the first one or second stream, I noticed, like, yeah, not really doing much, and it's not as enjoyable to do it live. So, but that was also because the game was extremely depressing for me. So, and it delved into topics that were kind of hard for me to articulate thoughts on. Like, I can articulate thoughts, it's just that it was a bit too real for me, the game. Peered a little bit too deep into my mental health, more or less. But okay, so let me just wrap up because I want to go sleep. I have quite a few bit of work to do. I've been... I spent the entirety of today mostly just preparing my taxes for my next seasonal payment in January so that I can properly plan how much of my finances I need to put on the side and how much money I need to potentially make before the year ends, or before that day comes in which I have to pay the Umsatzsteuer. But okay, so one thing that I want to announce, other than, like, you know, other than unfortunately me not prioritizing big visual novels after Umineko anymore, is a more positive one, and that is I'm finally better informed about how to make an online shop, because The reason why it wasn't open this whole time was because I never had the time to finish all the bureaucratic research and paperwork. Like, I thought it wasn't going to be this complicated, but it was that much gargantuan. Say thank you to Europe and Germany for being this complicated with all this shit. But yeah, basically I had to find out about Verpackungslizenzen being acquired for every country rather than just for one, for all of Europe. There is no European-wide Verpackungslizenz. But okay, yeah, online shop, right? So I'm gearing towards opening it sometime in 2025. So before I open it though, sometime in the next weeks, in the next days, I will be posting a Google form that has an interest check. That includes like things like what country do you live in and all that basic stuff, so that I can gauge which packaging licenses for which countries I'm gonna buy first. If you are in the Americas, you don't have to worry about the whole country thing and the packaging licenses, but the other part of the interest check form includes things like interest check in what kind of merch would you like to see more from me, and series. So if you guys want Umineko merch, pass it on to every one of you, that form. Vote for Umineko, and most likely I will invest in more Umineko merch. I already made a Battler and Beato sticker, so if you want more, and I really want to make more, vote for Umineko merch in the form. But yeah, I think that will be all that I wanted to mention. And I think I'm gonna wrap up for here because I wanna go to bed right away. All right. So thank you guys for coming. I hope you all had a good night. Have a good night. Thank you for being here since the past 3 years for Umineko, both VOD watchers and lurkers. I'll catch you guys next Tuesday with Mega Man X, and and if not, then I'll see you on the final stream of the year next week on Thursday, where I hopefully finally do the BFC again. Have a good night, everybody, and bye bye.